Welcome to Fullerton College Football on Sportsnet USA.net. Hey, I'm Mark Pavlovich along with Corey Neyland and Ryan Osborn. We are the voices for Fullerton College Football, and we're happy to bring you this game tonight as your Hornets take on College of the Canyons here up at their home stadium. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn. Well, I tell you what, guys, a disappointing loss to Cerritos last week. And Brian Crooks and I talked before this game. He put it all on the defense. They lost their defensive leaders, and it was confusion. It was funny car time with the defense. And at the end of the night, when they got done playing bumper cars, Cerritos wins the game. I looked at Brian tonight and say, "What do we do?" And he looked at me and he said, "Cross your fingers." So we'll see what happens tonight against College of the Canyons.
I think, Mark, that when you look at tonight's game, it's really going to come down to one X factor for Fullerton. It's the defensive line. We've seen in the past, especially the last 5 to 6 years, whenever they play Canyons, Canyons has a mobile quarterback. They have a person who is able, each of their last 3 starting quarterbacks has been able to get outside of the pocket, work with their legs, extend plays, and it's all about the success of Fullerton College's defensive line and how well they're able to bottle him up inside the pocket, keep him from getting to the outside. The same is the case here. When you take a look at Fullerton College defensive line, it's going to come down to how well they perform tonight if you want to look at an X factor for the Hornets.
And for Fullerton, doing all right. And for Fullerton, you're going to look at really the defense, as you mentioned, Ryan. I think it's going to start with the linebackers. The linebackers need to have a good, smart game, fundamentally sound against this Cougar offense. They'll nickel and dime you, and they'll take that every single time. It doesn't seem like this in their first 2 games, and as a history for College of the Canyons, they'll rush things. They'll panic. They'll get impatient and go down the field. They'll take what they give you. Out pattern, flat pattern, look in patterns, that's what they'll take until they hit you big. And on the offensive side of the ball, Fullerton really needs to establish themselves on offense. They need to establish that identity that was lacking last year. Run the ball. Get Tyrell Green Jr. If they can establish that run, that's the foundation which will ease the rest of the way for the 3-headed monster quarterback that the Hornets have.
Well, on the defensive side, just to say what Brian Crooks told me before the game, they're going to keep it simple. I agree with Corey. I think we need to run the football more. Tyrell Green, when you look at him, this is a young man that's having a great year. 272 yards in 2 games right now, 136 yards a game. He needs to touch the football more than 11 and a half times when he's out there. And I'm not going to forget Malik Winston, who even though he hasn't done much, 62 yards on 13 carries. I think they have a double-edged sword on the running attack, Ryan.
Yeah, Mark, and think that when you start off with Tyrell Green, what makes him so great is the fact that he's really elusive. So you'll see him get up to a guy, go into contact, not be afraid of that contact, but slip out of it because his lower body keeps moving. He keeps churning his legs, and he's got the ability to cut on his off leg. Now, on the other side for Malik Winston, like you said, they've got a 2-headed monster. If they can go to it here tonight, we've seen them have success. Malik Winston, we talked to him on the coaches show. He said one of the big things for him is the fact that he reads the field really well. So when he gets those opportunities, he does get yardage for Fullerton College. It's all a matter of whether or not they're going to give him the ball.
Corey Neyland, I got to ask you, because why not slip out Tyrell Green in the flat? I think he's sneaky fast for a running back.
He is, and that's what you have Malik Winston out there as well to do. I think he might be a little bit better pass catcher, so you sneak him out in the flat, he can make things happen. Garnett Davis as well. He hasn't seen much, but he's a shifty kind of back that can run as well. And so you got to look at that because it'll make it easier for Josh Calvin, who will probably get the start tonight. It'll make it easier for him to find his receivers. It'll make it easier and for him to be more relaxed. When you're relaxed, you're not going to lock on to one receiver. You are going to, one receiver's not there, I'm relaxed enough, I'm calm enough. Let's see what my number 2 and number 3 receivers are going to do. Because the College of the Canyons defense, they run a 4-2-5. They've got 5 defensive backs who are athletic. but they have two linebackers that patrol the whole field. So it'll be interesting what they do. Cole Bullock is one of them, and Brian Snoke is the other.
And when you look at College of the Canyons, I mean, you look at Barry, who's 119 yards a game. You look at the running attack, Ryan, with Torres and Sumlin, 73 and 71 yards, respectively. There's nobody, it doesn't feel like there should be anybody that you're afraid of at College of the Canyons when we look at this game. Yet we're up here sort of feeling like Fullerton's in trouble. But if you look on paper, it looks like Fullerton's got the better offensive tack and maybe a good defense. My problem with Josh Calvin, he gets locked on, as we hear it about all quarterbacks, to one receiver and forgets the other four. He needs to be more versatile moving the ball.
Well, it's all about that comfort level. You take a look at last week against Cerritos. In the first half, specifically in the second quarter, you saw Josh Calvin relax. You saw him take a deep breath and say, you know what? I know what I see on the field. I can go with the reads that I feel are right. Then in the third quarter, he looked just as good. The fourth quarter, however, is where you saw him lock up just a little bit. If he can open himself up to just a couple of extra looks before he throws the ball, the other thing for him, be decisive. If he sees one thing open, go for it right away. Because we saw two different times on third down against Cerritos where they had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out.
Hey, Corey, one last thing before I let you go. Special teams need to be special for Fullerton. That's been the savior over the last couple of years. We haven't seen that yet from anybody for the Hornets.
No, we had a burst from Michael Love on a kickoff return last week against Cerritos, went 75 yards on a return. That's really been it. College of the Canyons has had one blocked punt this season in the first two games, and that was against Antelope Valley and Southwestern. So if they've got one in those two games against those two teams, you really think that Fullerton can come after the punting game and at least get one and make something happen for the Hornets.
So we get ready for a little community college football on Sportsnet, USA.net. An important game for Fullerton. They cannot, I really believe this, they cannot go 1-2 at the beginning of the season and then hope they win the conference. That's the only way they're going to get into the playoffs. They are not, if they lose two games early in the season, I don't think they become a wild card team.
I think they can win the conference even if they lose this ball game today. The conference, the Southern League, is a little bit down this season. And so Fullerton has a great chance even if they lose this contest tonight.
Fullerton is going to receive the kickoff.
And it looks like it is Christian Stewart, 5'8" freshman from Brea Olinda High School. And we'll see who the other player out is there, because I see the 2. And we don't know if it's a 1, we don't know if it's a 7, so we'll see in just a moment. So it's either Christian Cross or Jordan Little.
You sure it isn't Aiden Koenig? Stewart gets it at the 10, looks for an opening, gets the 30, stays on his feet all the way up to the 35. A good return and starting point for the Hornets. Kristen Cross brought that up. My mistake. So Kristen Cross with a nice return for the Hornets, and the Hornets start off on offense.
Up front for the Cougars, Jaquarian Ladson, Reggie Jones, Joshua Obasui, and David Francis Jr., the front four for the Cougars.
Will Gibson to the near side of the field with Koenig. Josh Kelvin, empty backfield to start this game off. First down and 10 at the 35 for the Hornets. We get a flag on the first play. So that moves them back. Darian Fletcher on as a wide receiver for the Hornets on the far side of the field. So a little action tonight for him. In the slot is going to be Jordan Smith on the far side of the field. So Josh Calvin once again now first down and 15 at the 30. Looks, here comes the pressure. Goes away from him. Up the middle of the field, drops his head to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Second down and 10. At open territory, guys, I don't understand the run.
Good play. Linebacker read it very well. He was in position. Not sure if he would have been able to elude the backer.
Also not sure about that.
Helmet to helmet?
No, just after the tackle was done, if there should have been a taunting flag that should have been called for a guy getting into the face of Calvin afterwards.
Tyrell Green now in at running back. They hand it off to Green, straight up the middle. Gets away from one, gets clocked on the third one. Gain of a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a third down and 8 for the Hornets.
Brian Snoke with the stop. Center is William Perroni. Left guard, Daniel Medelis. The left tackle is George Silva. The right guard is Sherrod Green, and the right guard, tack guard is Sammy Garcia. Right tackle is Green.
Broy and Smith to the near side of the field. Tyrell Green goes in motion. They go back this way. Run a little flanker screen, nowhere to go. And C.J. Broy was swallowed up at the 40. Maybe a gain of 1. It's going to bring up a fourth down on an offensive set that really doesn't move the field.
Mark, we talked about indecisiveness at the top of the broadcast. That's what you kind of see there. Receiver gets it at the 30, takes a look upfield, isn't sure if he wants to go to the inside towards the hash marks or go to the outside of the numbers. And because of that, 3 other guys were able to come from the midfield over to help.
Zion Slade and Calvin Littles back deep for the Cougars. They'll stand at their 20. Ball is down. And then you trip and fall on the grass, and you couldn't start off worse for the Hornet. The punter can't handle the snap, and then when he picks it up, trips over his own shoes and gives College of the Canyons outrageous field position.
And we'll start with their offensive line. Gavin Quiros, Cole Smith, Stephen Eakins, one of the captains, Donovan Reyes, and Sammy Palu up front.
Chaden Perry comes in at quarterback. Spearman at running back. Perry looks over. First down and 10 at the 25. Perry throws it. Picked off. 40, 50, 40, 30, 20. Touchdown, Fullerton College.
65 yards from Salen Streeter, his second interception of the season, his second pick 6 of the season. In game number 1, he went 42 yards against Santa Ana. Here, that play was read from jump. And Salen Streeter, if he was going to get beat, he was going to get beat, but he was going for the pick all the way. The worst start you can have on offense, the best start you can have on defense.
Hornets are going to go for 2 with 12:52 to go. Josh Calvin comes out. In the backfield with him, Garnett Davis the third. Start in motion, pump fake, look at the other direction, throw all the way back, trying to get it over, shoots his receiver. Corey Neyland, you saw somebody open in the right flat?
No, right in the back of the end zone. When he turned, Carter Carmona was wide open in the back of the end zone. If he would have looked, he would have had him there. But again, the start you needed on offense wasn't there. The start you needed on defense, right on time. Salen Streeter, just a ball hawk out of Monroe, North Carolina, Monroe High School. That was impressive on the first defensive play of the game. We didn't even get a chance to read the defense. That was so nice. And they're missing Chandler Brown, who, as Mark mentioned,
he's the quarterback of the defense.
But guys, this goes back to the studying and the film session that is done during the week with these guys. You see him recognize what he's looking at because the coaches sit those guys down and say, we're going to watch film, we're going to study, we're going to see what our opponent has to offer. So when Streeter sees that play is going to develop, he looks at the formation, reads it well because he's already studied with the coaches beforehand. You love to see that kind of film session turn around and have an immediate impact in the game.
Sumlin and Flippin back deep for the Cougars. Ball goes. Sumlin is going to try and track it down. Let it go out of bounds. It does. And once again, special teams back-to-back has given College of the Canyons excellent field position so far. Well, I asked you guys if special teams was going to do something. Neither one of you told me special teams was going to do this.
Forward places 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
and we'll set up that defense mark in just one moment.
So Perry brings them back out. At running back, Anthony Spearman one more time. 1st down and 10 at the 35 for the Cougars. Hornets are up by 6 on a great interception. Throw it over the flat. Almost picked it, Corey. Ball hawk seems to be the answer for the Hornets tonight on Joshua Littleberry. Makes a nice catch.
Christian Cross went for the pick. No go. Up front for the Hornets, Eric Hill, Ant Harris, Bryce Dunnock, who's strong in the middle along with Harris, and Amari Williams, who has a sack this season in the first game. So those are up front for the Hornets. Backers are Chris Harm in the middle. Near side is Brandon Tita Noir, and the far side is going to be Jeremiah McNeely.
Littleberry to the near side of the field. Perry hands it off to his running back. Spearman takes a right. We get a flag on the play.
So zone blocking looks like it's going to be a hold on the kick out on the outside. And so the secondary for the Hornets, as Salen Streeter got the start and the pick, Anthony Williams.
71, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Anthony Wilson comes in for him at the safety position, to joined by Kadari Kearns, the other safety. Cassius Kearns, the near cornerback, 24 in white, and Christian Cross, the far side corner for the Hornets. Penalty went on Stephen Eakins.
Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. In the slot is going to be Calvin Little. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 8 right at the 38-yard line. Once again, they run to Spearman. Gets dropped for a loss. It's going to be a loss of at least 4 on the play.
Back to the original line of scrimmage. Eric Hill was in the backfield first. Jeremiah McNeely finished him off.
So Jacoby Taylor stays to the near side of the field. Zion Slade now comes in. On the far side of the field, Calvin Little's in the slot. Spearman still in at running back. Perry, the quarterback. 3rd down and 10, right at the 35. Right there, caught and dropped, incomplete. That brings up a 4th down. And Ryan, you're watching Brian Crooks. 4 down linemen, no blitz, very simple on the defense.
Yeah, but you're looking at them anticipating the ball well. You've already seen one interception, one pass breakup, another tackle for loss, and even on that last one, you had two different guys who were right around the football just in case that ball was going to get caught. So I think when you take a look at Brian Crook's defense, anticipation has been key, and their timing has been good to start.
Jordan Smith back deep for the Hornets, stands at the 25. Three-man rush, nice kick. Smith takes a step, backpedals, doesn't give a fair catch, gets taken down right at the 30. Good field, open field coverage by College of the Canyons.
Samaje Williams with the tackle.
6-0 Hornets, 11-24. The defense for the Hornets comes up big.
And let's finish off that defense for the Cougars, the linebackers. Brian Snoke, number 4, out of Reisman Gymnasium in Germany. There's a German connection here. They've got about 5 players from Germany, a couple from Sweden, and the overseas connection. The other linebacker is Cole Bullock. We'll hit that nickel package in just a sec.
Calvin still in at quarterback. Tyrell Green still the running back. Gibson this time here. They give it to Green, try to go off a left tackle. Finds an opening ball. I'm not sure if the ball came out because I thought he was down earlier. Let's see where they spot it at. He did stay on his feet, Corey Neyland. Great balance all the way up to 35.
Yeah, Tylen Foster in there with the stomp, the outside linebacker. They're not in their 5 DB set yet.
Green stays back there. Tyrell Green Jr., the running back. Gibson stays on the near side of the field with Koenig. Josh Calvin at quarterback. This time Calvin takes it, looks down the field, has a man wide open, rushes the throw. C.J. Broy went by his man like he was standing still.
Yeah, the angle he took and couldn't set his feet, trying to throw across his body, just wasn't there. Good play call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That goes against Foster. The near side corner is going to be Josh Doyle. Far side corner is Ashton Thomas. The safeties, Coy Mortensen. And the last safety, Jeremiah Cox, is a free safety near side.
Smith, far side field, out wide. Cameron Woods, a tight end now. Straight drive, gives it to Tyrell Green Jr. Keeps the body moving. And that is a gain of 3, chugging down the field. He averages basically, guys, an average of 11 yards a carry so far in this early season.
That's going to drop in this game, but it's one of these games that you could see him be the go-to guy, the breakout as one of the premier backs in the state. And Garnett Davis III checks in.
So they hand it to Garnett Davis III. Garnett Davis III makes it up to the 45, gain of 2 there, trying to get that big offensive line to chug along.
And what they're doing is they're making it 3rd and manageable for Josh Calvin so he doesn't have to think too much out there. Josh Calvin, a very talented quarterback. 3rd and 5 is better than the 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 9s that they were in last week against Cerritos.
Aiden Koenig comes to the near side of the field with Gibson. Jordan Smith goes to the far side of the field. 3rd down and 5 at the 45 for the Hornets. They're up by 6 early in the first quarter. Josh Calvin goes back. He's got time. Throws that out there. Gives it to Gibson. Gives a little fake. Puts down a hand and gets a first down. There's a flag on the field. We'll see who that penalty is. Corey Neyland says they're moving the Hornets back.
Yeah, left side or right side of that offensive line. Big hands, a lot of jersey.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, 8-yard down.
Sherrod Green, the right tackle.
So nice little play, discounted. We move it back. So they're going to move it back all the way to the 40. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15.
Be interesting what the play call will be here. Up 6-0 on that pick 6. Couple open receivers earlier.
Tyrell Green Jr. back in the backfield again for the Hornets. They fake it, quick little toss right in the middle, trying to get a quick opener, just enough to maybe make it easier for the punter there as Aiden Koenig gets a gain of about 8 on the play. And so the excitement starts because it's special teams. We'll see how special they are on this play. Back deep is going to be Calvin Littles and Zion Slade for the Cougars. They're going to stand at the 15. Nice punt. Signaled for a fair catch right there at the 21 as Calvin Littles goes down, and that's where the ball will be spotted. So with 8:18 to go here in the first quarter, well, it's Brian Crooks and his defense 6. Everybody else nothing here on Sportsnet USA.net.
So Streeter back in at safety. Number 4 in the white jerseys with the blue numbers went 65 yards for 6 on the first play, offensive play for College of the Canyons.
Bo Decker, tight end, out to the far side of the field. Perry at quarterback. They hand it off to Spearman, trying to make the corner. Gets to the edge. And Corey, I'm going to ask you, the defense stayed at home on that one.
Well, you told me you talked to Brian Crooks right before the game, and on one of the plays, a crucial play, crashes down, running back gets on the outside, corner can't make the tackle. This time, Eric Hill comes straight up the field, forces the back to come inward. Jeremiah McNeely forces him back into Eric Hill for the stop.
2nd down and 10. They try to throw it out here to the flat. They do throw it out in the flat, and as soon as Zion Slade catches it, a good tackle, Ryan Osborn, right there.
We talked about it all last week, and especially against Santa Ana, those wrap-up tackles. If Fullerton can finish off on them, it's going to be crucial for them because we saw it last year. What cost them games was the fact that they weren't able to finish off their tackles. They do it successfully there.
Cougars go with an empty backfield on this one. Perry looks over. 4 down linemen. So you look at Brian, he's got a 4-4-3 going if this was soccer. Throw it over the flat, catch, 2 defensive backs, and this goes back to what both you said. You just heard what Ryan said, Corey Neyland. Make a sure tackle, and the defensive backs do that again.
Christian Cross was there. Maximus Ahoya also there. He makes the tackle, and just a good defensive set for the Hornets. The Cougars really looking and feeling out this early going here in the first quarter, guys.
Ty Morrison will punt it for the Cougars. Jordan Smith back deep for the Hornets. Morrison will stand on his own 10 with 6:27 to go. Jordan Smith sneaks up a little, standing at the 35. Ball's down, big rush, almost get to the punter. Jordan Smith says, back off, back off. It takes a bounce in favor of the Cougars and is going to die right at the 26. With 6:05 to go here in the first quarter, it's the Hornets 6, the Cougars 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ryan, Corey, the old guy, having a wonderful night up here by Magic Mountain. Got here very early before the game. And hope you're happy you're with us here on Sportsnet USA.net.
Almost a 48-yard kick, guys. And you know who's listening in Monrovia. Brian Norman, as always the first to shout us out or send us a message that he is listening. How you doing, sir?
Brandon Nunez now in at quarterback for the Hornets. So we wondered, Nunez goes back across the middle of the field, almost throws a pick right there as Aiden Koenig goes straight down the field, Corey. He doesn't take a route in. Bad pass or bad route?
I think it was not bad. I think it was just a miscommunication by Koenig. Nunez was going to him all the way. Koenig never looked for the route. Or the ball, I should say.
Tyrell Green Jr. back in the backfield. Gibson to the near side of the field. Koenig in the slot next to him. Nunez goes back again. Throws it over there. Drops it off to Jordan Smith. Jordan Smith refuses to go down, but does go down at the 30. But a nice little gain of 4 on the play.
Tylen Foster makes the stop, but Will Gibson has got to throw a block. If you don't throw a block, get in front of somebody to give your receiver, the ball carrier, somewhere to go. If Will Gibson steps in front, even shades somebody, grazes somebody, that could have been a first down.
Jordan Smith to the near side of the field. Nunez stays in. Back in a running back, Garnett Davis the third at running back. Davis picks up the blitz. Good defense against Smith, one-on-one. And Ryan, I was gonna go to Ryan for a second. Ryan, you're talking about the antics on the field. You watch it, make a nice play in Smith, but then it's an acting job on the next 15 seconds by College of the Canyons.
Celebration is always nice to see in college athletics. Those guys have personalities. We like to see it. But sometimes if you start getting into the face of the person that you made the big play against is when you start to cross the line just a little bit flag worthy.
Little's back deep with Slade. This time they move up to the 35. High floater. No fair catch signal. Ball goes down. It gets dropped, comes back up. And so it's going to be down right at the 34.
Quentin Moulton was there on the coverage and makes the stop. And I'm going to say, I don't know if it's because his last name is Moulton and I played with the guy way back in the day, Lawrence Moulton. No, Lawrence Moulton was a basketball player, but never mind. Kenneth Moulton. I don't think that was too much of a taunting issue right there. That's just a good celebration. And the other guys we want to shout out, Big Ray. Hope you're back rolling soon, man. Let us know.
Littleberry to the far side of the field. Calvin Little's the near side of the field. They run an option with Spearman. Nobody's there this time to keep him at home. He turns the corner. Ball comes out. Hornets get it on the recovery.
And that looks like it was Salen Streeter who forced the fumble. And coming up with the recovery is Branson Tita Noir. And the Hornets have it in Cougar field position. Again, Mark, that's 2 turnovers for Streeter.
One thing that I like about Streeter on that one, he turns to his right to see if he has support with him. That's when he goes after the ball. Because sometimes what you'll see is guys who end up trying to get that fumble even though they don't have guys directly behind them, so they don't have that support. You miss that tackle, and all of a sudden, a guy's off to the races. He takes a look at who's with him, goes after the ball, and the Hornets take it away.
Malik Winston now in at running back, standing there next to Josh Calvin. Malik out of the backfield, all alone. Josh Calvin goes away. This time throws it over the flat. C.J. Broy gets it. A gain of 8 on the play. So Malik Winston sneaks out of the backfield. He was wide open in the middle of the field. And once again, Josh Calvin finds his wide receiver. Gain of 8 on the play, all the way down to the 34, second down and 2. Goes back. Once again, C.J. Broy this time gets knocked out of bounds. Loss of a half a yard. And Gibson turns around and looks at it and says, nobody was covering me on the far side of the field.
It's the rush, Mark, that is not allowing Calvin to get up there and read his progressions, and that's why Gibson was open. He had to go quickly. David Francis Jr. on the left side was applying the pressure.
Malik Winston still in the game. They hand it off to Malik. He turns the corner, stays on his feet, gets driven out of bounds after a first down. So Malik Winston comes in. We talked about him touching the football at a running back position. Picks up a first down, gets that first down, and they'll stay with a 2-back situation. First time we've seen that this year. Garnett Davis III comes in the backfield.
Mark, you talked about him having 13 carries for 62 yards. You add an extra 8 there. Now he's averaging over 5 yards per carry. He's been very productive in his time.
Handed straight up the middle. Not much for Garnett Davis III. Maybe a half a yard.
Ate up by Isai Martinez out of Palmdale. So this first quarter going by pretty quickly, guys.
3 minutes to go. The Hornets up by 6. Jordan Smith comes on the near side of the field. In the slot, Darren Fletcher on the other side of the field. Out wide, C.J. Broy. Calvin at quarterback. Second down and 10. Fakes it himself, keeps it himself. Gain of 7 on the play. It's going to bring up a third down and 3 at the 23.
Garrett Campbell opened up that playbook just a little bit and showing Josh Calvin you don't have to sit in the pocket to make plays. Get him rolling, get him active, fakes the throw outside, and scoots up for a positive gain.
Cameron Wood now comes in at tight end. Ryan Franklin out deep on the right side of the field. Third down and 3. Straight dive. They hand it to Tyrell Green Jr., who wiggles his way for a first down.
He opened the dictionary and got slivery with it because he just slivered through the lane. He got hit up front by Joshua Obasui and just went on and slid through for the first.
First down and 10 across the 20, right at the 19. Calvin looks over. Tyrell Green Jr. still the running back. Ryan Franklin out wide on the right-hand side. Why not give it to the money man? Heads back to the bank. Maybe deposited 10 cents on that run. Not much, maybe a little interest from that previous deposit. We're at 136 here in the first quarter. Well, it's the defense that has been the sparkling child so far in this game for the Hornets.
I'm not sure he's as fast as Damon Sweezy, but he runs tough, and he's a little bit bigger than Damon, kind of like Pop Thomas a little bit as he hits the hole hard, but a little bit faster.
Michael Love to the far side of the field. Ball gets tipped away, incomplete pass.
So a bull rush. James Jeanette was there. Also bull rushing was Jackson Stein, applying pressure in the face of Calvin.
Third down and 9. Just inside the 20. We're at the 109 mark. C.J. Broy comes out here to the far side of the field. Jordan Smith in the slot. Josh Calvin looks. Here comes the pressure. Throws across the middle of the field. Gibson hauls it in.
And there's a flag on the play right in the middle as the rush and the pocket was collapsing. Josh Calvin released the ball. Gibson on a deep out. If it had stood, it would have been a 6 points. Modelis with the stop.
So it's going to move it back. The young offensive line trying to do their best. We're at 103. The Hornets 6-0.
And you saw the deep out, and you saw the arm strength Calvin had. He didn't step into that throw. He was moving back just a little bit. And is it 4-down territory, or you get enough here and kick a field goal if they don't get that first down?
I go for it. C.J. Broy to the near side of the field. Jordan Smith in the slot. They roll away from the pressure. Throw it right there. And beautiful defense on Aiden Koenig, who was the trailer on the deep outs. Gets a gain of maybe 2. And now will attempt the field goal for the Hornets. Jonathan Fulbear comes in. 3 of 5 so far. His longest one is 39 yards. That'll make this one a 42, his longest if he makes it. Ball is spotted. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So that's his longest one of the year, and it's the Hornets 9, the Cougars 0, here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, the old guy, Gabby Neyland down there in the crowd someplace.
3 out of 4 happy.
So, Ryan, at least they got some points on that turnover, and now they've got 9 points on 2 turnovers.
That's crucial, Mark, because you take a look at those types of turnovers, too. If you can't get points off of a huge momentum builder to close out a quarter, it takes the momentum away from yourself and gives it right back to the defense. You take a look at it in a broad spectrum. Offense gives up the ball, but their defense is able to stack up and be able to come away without points against them. Momentum builder, confidence builder, and gives them a chance going into the second quarter. Getting points at all on that drive was crucial for Fullerton College to make sure not only are they up 2 scores, but it gives them and keeps with momentum.
Sumlin and Flippin back deep for the Cougars. They're going to stand at their 10. Big kick. Driving into the end zone. Taken there by Sumlin. Comes back across the middle. Gets across the 15 to the 17. So short if he'd have just tracked it down in the end zone, but hey, why not? Try and spark a little magic for your team and see what can go, but it's been all Fullerton College defense in this first quarter. And the defense has given the offense that 9-0 lead with 12 seconds to go in this first quarter.
LeBaron Kennedy in, along with Terrence Hansborough Jr. on the right side. Ant Harris still in the middle, and Brandon Sun up front for the Hornets.
Damon Banks now at running back for the Cougars. Get a flag on the play. So we'll see if it should be holding against the Cougars with 4 seconds to go.
Brought down by number 50, LeBaron Kennedy.
So we mentioned the up front guys.
So they're going to walk it backwards. It's going to be against the Cougars. It's holding.
Holding, 64, offense, half the distance, repeat first down.
Mario Klajic out of Wyoming Seminary. Middle linebacker new Keon Marshall. Tita Noir is the outside near side, and McNeely is the outside far side backer. Cross and Kearns, that's Cassius, are the corners. Anthony Wilson is one safety, 31 there, and you see the other safety, Kadari Kearns, 25.
So that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. As we come to the end of the first quarter, it's the Hornets 9, the Cougars 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, the old guy bringing you the action. And it's, guys, okay, summation of that first quarter. Well, we just give a lot of love to the defense, a little love to the offense.
I think you have to give a lot of love to the defense, especially the way that defense came up big for you after, well, let's put it plainly. That first series for the offense didn't look pretty. Special teams didn't look pretty. What happens on the very next play? The defense gets them not only the lead, but it gets them momentum. Then you turn it around. Offense is able to put together a decent drive. The defense looks even better as they, again, get a takeaway. So if you're Fullerton College, you're looking at this defense right now and saying the defense is transitioning into offensive momentum if they can get it there.
Is it the defense or is it College of the Canyons just as sputtering, Mr. Neyland?
Yes.
Thank you. I love in-depth analysis here on Sportsnet USA.net. Perry brings them back out. Far side of the field, Littleberry. Near side of the field, Calvin Little. And Damian Banks, the running back. Banks has had 69 yards in the 2 games as running back for College of the Canyons. We'll see what he can do back there. Jaden Perry goes back. He hands it off to Banks. Banks finds an opening at the guard position, gets a nice gain of at least 7 yards.
He's out of Birmingham Charter. He started, or excuse me, was a captain tonight.
So Banks stays in there. Calvin Little now goes in the slot on the far side of the field. Littleberry goes out wide. Tight formation near side of the field. They hand it off to Banks again. Banks turns the corner, stays on his feet, gives a nice straight arm. Nice gain of 14 on that at least. We're going to bring it back because there's a flag on the field.
Does his best Fred Winborn impression of our College of the Canyon Cougars, but that's going to come back.
Offense, number 71, half the distance for key second down.
Second penalty called on Steven Eakins. And he must have had a lot of jersey of Terrence Hansbrough Jr.
So we move it back just short of the 5-yard line. Makes it about 21 right about now. No, about 24. So 2nd and 24 for the Cougars. Brian keeping it simple. They hand it off again, straight up the middle. Banks is getting his money's worth. Crawls his way up to the 15. So nice gain of 8. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and makeable, or at least reachable, because it's 3rd down and 13 right at the 15-yard line. Banks stays in there. Shaden Perryman at the quarterback. Little in the slot. Big 3rd down play here in the 2nd quarter. Looking to go across. Again, a pitch and catch, and yet, Corey, there's 2 defensive backs there. If one can't make the tackle, the second one should be able to wrap him up.
Yeah, Tidenois, and it looks like Cross was there as well. But again, Fullerton playing solid, fundamental defense.
Jordan Smith back deep. He'll stand at the 45. Ty Morrison to punt it away for the Cougars. Big end over end. Jordan Smith signals fair catch, dives for it, has the ball, just short of the 50. So with 12:58 to go in the 2nd quarter, it's your Hornets 9, the Cougars 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, it's a nice night up here. It's cool. The wind is blowing. Those warm nights, at least for today, have gone away. Pleasant night for the fans. Great turnout by the fans for the Cougars. And if you look across the way, well, a lot of Hornets did what we did. They got in the car and came on up here to see what this Hornet team would do and how they would rebound after losing to Cerritos. 1st down and 10 at the 49 for the Hornets. Josh Calvin brings out the team. Looks over the defense. Tyrell Green Jr. straight up the middle, spins off the pile. The ability and balance is incredible for that little guy.
Little guy, Mark, 6 feet. 195 pounds out of Kenwood High School in Baltimore. But he keeps the knees up. And I know we don't like pro references, but I just keep thinking of Roger Craig. Those of you who were around in the 80s.
2nd down and 6 with a gain of 4. This time Josh Calvin looking down. Same play again. Corey Neyland, this is twice that he's had C.J. Broy open and has not completed the pass. You say it's because of his footwork.
He rushed it. That time he had better footwork moving to his right, but he rushed the throw.
Well, you'll notice on each of those 2 throws, Corey, he's a right-handed thrower, but he jumps off his right foot when he sends that forward, so it doesn't give him the power that he's looking for to air it out.
Franklin comes on near side of the field. 3rd down and a long 7. Straight dive up the middle. Tyrell Green gets up to the 45. And Corey Neyland says, punt it away. Oh, you would run it? Were you giving me the run sign from there?
No, punt it away.
Okay.
At the 45, your defense is playing well. Francis makes the stop. You got to just take your chances.
Gavin Littles goes back, will stand on the 10 with 11:56 to go here in the 2nd quarter. The Hornets haven't shown much, but it's enough to be up by 9. Big rush. Calvin Little signals for a fair catch, takes it right there at the 11. So with 11:37 to go, it's the Hornets 9, College of the Canyons 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. little Cypress College volleyball the other night on sportsnetusa.net. Cypress comes away with a 3-1 match over your Fullerton College women in the game of volleyball. Damian Banks back in at running back. Looked good his first time he touched the football for the Cougars. Chaden Perry comes out, takes his time, keeps it himself. Quarterback keeper. Gain of 3 on the play. They're going to take him up to the 15.
Kadari Kearns makes the stop, and Mark Ray's finally listened to us. Ryan Ray says, "What's up? How's it going?" He's got his own little pub going in his room. 3 TVs going and a drink.
Nice. Little Barry out to the far side of the field. Little's in the slot next to him. Banks the running back. Perry the quarterback for the Cougars. Goes back. Looks to get rid of it. Throws it over here in the flat. Incomplete pass as he short arms it to the young man, Damian Banks.
It looked like it was tipped.
It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's what caused it to flutter. Initially, that lane was there, but just to reach up right at the very end allows for it to go right to the floor.
3rd down. And a long 7. Perry looks, takes his time. Again, simplified defense. Now Damian Banks goes from his right to left, changing the power of the formation. Looks again, takes it down, throws over the middle of the field, short arms it again, and tries to get it to Calvin Littles. And again, we've had quarterbacks. Guys, I'm going to ask you both, get it in here quickly. We have quarterbacks that are not coming close to their receivers when they're on the move.
Both quarterbacks aren't realizing that they have a little bit more time than what they thought. So you're seeing both of these two guys rush for a second right before they let go of the football. By the time that they let go, they don't have the power that they want because they rushed it.
Jordan Smith at the 49-yard line. Creeps up a little by the 50. Morrison, the punter for the Cougars. Here comes pressure up the middle. Morrison gets it off. High spiral. Smith is going to let it hit the ground. He was going to catch it. It bounces out of bounds over the 50 at the 47. 1st down and 10 with 10:47 to go. Here in the first half, it's the Hornets 9, Canyons 0 on sportsnetusa.net.
And so when you look at the Hornets now is a perfect time if you're a Hornets fan to have a sustained drive against College of the Canyons. But Cougars, they've been playing a heck of a defensive side in this first half as well, as their speed and aggressiveness has really caused trouble for the Hornets.
Broy comes to the near side of the field. Josh Calvin in at quarterback, or is it Nunez? It's Josh Calvin in there. Across the middle of the field. Easy pick. Short-armed it again. Went directly as he was going for Michael Love, trying to make a play. Stays on his feet, needs to get a tackle. And finally taken down. The pass was not close. We have a flag on the play.
There are 2 different flags, one at the line of scrimmage and one at the 30-yard line.
One on the pass, actually, though, Mark. Or
and a
Ryan.
third.
Yeah, Ryan. So it may be unnecessary roughness on the throw. And there is hold on the run back, but we'll see what that first flag is.
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 93, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So it negates the interception as Josh Calvin, again, Mark, you said he pulled the trigger, or excuse me, was short-armed it. The reason why he short-armed it, because for a minute he had his receiver open on the post. But all of a sudden, as he's in the windup, it converges. 3 different defensive backs are around the ball, and it gets picked. And a nice play by Josh Doyle, but it goes for naught.
Okay, but I'm going to flip it to the man to my left. He short-armed the pass. It's not because of roughing the passer.
No, he had already let that ball go and short-armed it himself before the roughing the passer takes place.
And I'm not going to blame Calvin because, well, it's better defense. They forced that short arm.
That's their first of the game.
So yeah, he short-armed it, but that defense made him think twice, and that's the problem when he's been out there. If you think too much, bad things happen when you think too much when you're playing a sport.
So the penalty is going to move it across to the 40, down to the 38, puts the Hornets in great field position with 10:31 to go. First down and 10 for the Hornets.
And if you're Garrett Campbell and Fullerton College Hornets, have confidence in the quarterback. Air it out.
We'll give it to Josh Calvin. I mean, the young man stands in there and takes a hit as a quarterback. First down and 10. Right at the 38, he goes back. Has time. This time he gets swallowed up in the backfield for a loss at the 45.
Esai Martinez, the 6'1", 280. That one wasn't pass interference or roughing the passer. That was just a quick, explosive move on the outside, cuts in and gets the sack. And now you got Tyrell Green Jr. He's been lethal from about 45, 50 yards. He's got one 50-yarder on the season. That's his long.
So in at quarterback is Taj Gregory, and we're going to get timeout on the field. So timeout on the field with 9:58 to go. It's the Hornets 9. The Cougars 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Incredible turnout here for community college football. When you look in the grandstands, College of the Canyons gets a great turnout. And the guys, we're not the only crazy ones coming up here. You look across the way, Ryan, a great turnout, but the Hornet fans across the way.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, when you take a look at each of the last 3 weeks that we have seen community college attendance, the Key to the County game, well attended. You know, 30 minutes before kickoff, we looked at each other and said, man, I really wish we could go back to the days where community college had this massive attendance. What happens? 30 minutes later, everyone shows up. Everyone's there to watch quality community college football. Over at Fullerton Union District Stadium last week, we looked, Cerritos had a nice showing across the way. Fullerton College had a nice showing in front of us, in front of the booth. And now you come out here to College of the Canyons, and it's great to be able to see the community come out and support these student athletes.
Michael Love to the far side of the field. Tyrell Green Jr. is running back. Josh Calvin comes back on the field. Hands it to Tyrell Green Jr. Stays on his feet. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Boy, howdy. I thought he was going to get a step and take off running.
And other games on SportsNetUSA.net, there's one going on. East LA 7, San Diego Mesa 7. That's in the second quarter.
Third down and 10, right at the 38. Josh Calvin hands it off to Tyrell Green Jr. Reverses the thing, backpedals, gain of 5. A little long for a field goal, too short to punt the ball, so the offense stays on the field. Fourth down and 6 at the 34 for the Hornet. Josh Calvin looks over to the sidelines. Ryan Franklin to the near side of the field. Far side of the field, Michael Love. Big fourth down. Here comes the pressure. Josh Calvin looks for Love, doesn't get it to him. Incomplete pass. Incomplete, and so the defense for College of the Canyon comes up big and holds the offense to naught.
So Calvin tried to force that in. Good defense by Canyons. Nothing was going to get behind him. One deep safety. And let's see if the Cougars offense, they haven't really shown up yet in this first half, and they're capable of putting up big points, 40+ in both their first 2 games.
Littleberry to the far side of the field. Damon Banks, the running back. Chaden Perry at quarterback. First down and 10, the 35. Perry throws, gets hit when he does. It's going to go out of bounds. Incomplete pass. Second down and 10.
McNeely on the pressure. Bryce Dunnick's helmet comes off. He checks out. In comes Terrence Hansborough Jr. Hansborough out of Collierville, Tennessee.
So Calvin Little looks like he's going to go to the far side of the field. Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. Littleberry stays where he was at. 2nd down and 10. Shaden Perry looks things over. Has time. Perry's going to throw it over with the opening and gets it right there. Throws it right on the money. Jacoby Taylor was all by himself. 1st down, Cougars.
And maybe a little breakdown in the defensive secondary. Maximus Ahoya dropped back deep, and that was a deep out route. So nice job by the Cougars to get the ball moving there across midfield.
Littleberry, Little, and Taylor, far side. Damon Banks gets it, refuses to go down, and says, you know what, let me chug my way for a 1st down. And Damon Banks gets a 1st down for the Cougars. So they're on the roll.
And that's been there for the Cougars. That run game, off tackle, and trap plays have been there. So Tyler Carter makes the stop.
1st down and 10 at the 39. 8 minutes to go. Look over the sideline. Toby Taylor over here in the slot next to him is Slade. Tin Banks goes up far side of the field. Good tackle as he gets rid of it. Littleberry takes it, gets a gain of about 4 on the play. That's what they're going to give him on a sure tackle.
You're going to give him 2 because they're not going to give him where the ball
forward progress?
No forward progress because he attempted to get out of the tackle, and that's what they're going to say. I'm thinking it should have been forward progress, should have stood.
He had forward progress, came back, but then reestablished himself and started going forward just slightly.
Still should be a 5-yard gain.
2nd down and 8 for the Cougars. Rolling out. Here comes the pressure. Throw the football right across there. Looking for Calvin Littles. Calvin Littles on a foot race. Is he going to get caught from behind? Touchdown, Cougars.
Poor angles taken by the Fullerton secondary. Every person on that right side of the field ran towards the ball instead of taking a better angle around. Calvin Littles with his speed just went straight for the pylon and picked up 6.
Ryan Osborn, that's the one time Shaden Perry really rolled out, set his feet, and threw the ball on the money.
And that's the thing, Mark, is that he caught him in stride, too. If that ball is behind him, he gets caught by about 3 different guys. But since he leads him into the open area, it gives him that chance to go into the end zone.
The kick is up. The kick is good with 6:49 to go. Well, hey, it just got a little closer. It's the Hornets 9, the Cougars 7 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey, let's go back to that thing you brought up about the defensive backs and the angles, which most people don't even think about during a football game.
No, you got to, when you take those angles, you got to know where you are on the field in relation to where the offensive player is on the field. McNeely and Tita Noir went straight towards the player with the ball. Instead, you might want to take more of a rounded angle, and since there were 2 of them, make him decide which way to go. Littles didn't have to decide anything. He just ran straight for the pylon, and with his speed, it's easy.
So the Cougars get in the end zone. Back deep for the Hornets is going to be Michael Love.
Stewart is back there with him. So Christian Stewart is back deep with Michael Love.
So Stewart and Love standing at the 5. Love backpedals, takes it, comes up the far side looking for an opening, turns a corner, stays on his feet, gets knocked out of the bounds at the 40. Is that where they're going to mark him at?
They say the 45, 44. So a 43-yard return for Michael Love. You see the speed. He has those long strides out of Savannah, Georgia. Savannah High School puts Fullerton in good field position. And the offense is, they have the lead, but they haven't done much.
Tyrell Green Jr. in at running back. Josh Calvin at quarterback. 9-7 with 6:42 to go here in the first half. Tyrell Green Jr. up the middle. Gain of 6 on the play, just short of the 50.
Yeah, positive gain on first down. It gives your offensive unit more variety, what they can use on second and third downs.
Going to move it back a little. Going to say a gain of 5.
And going back to that Cougar drive, we'll get that in just a moment, Mark.
2nd down and 5, just short of the 50 for the Hornets. Josh Calvin has to go down, recover the ball on a bad snap. So it's a loss of 6, 3rd down and 11.
And so it makes that second and third down manageable. That third down now is more difficult as it's an obvious passing down, and Will Gibson's coming in on the near side wearing number 9. Let's see if they roll Calvin out and try to get him.
Gibson, Koenig on the near side of the field. 3rd down. Here comes the pressure by Cougars. They're bringing it. Josh Calvin, middle of the field. Incomplete pass. Wide open.
So the pressure got him. Calvin couldn't follow through on the throw, and that's why he missed the Koenig wide open in the middle of the field. But again, that pressure, they only brought 4, and they're allowed to collapse the pocket.
Back deep is going to be Littles with Zion Slade. They're going to walk up around the 25, looking to take the lead in this first half. Off the side of the foot. It's going to take a bounce. And it's going to die right at the 26. So it'll be 1st down and 10, 5:20 to go. You were going to mention something about that offensive set by the Cougars.
Now they diversified their drive. They got their quarterback Perry out of the pocket a couple times on that drive, and it resulted in positive outcomes on both plays. They trying to establish the off tackle, that run game with Banks, and that last drive, let's see if that set them right.
Littleberry, Littles, and Slade to the far side of the field. Perry keeps it himself, drops his head, gain up 6 on the play. Flag on the play.
Is it on the tackle, going low?
It looks like it's going to be on the near side, cornerback and wide receiver going at it after the play or close to when the play was over. Both players got the hands in the face.
After the play, personal foul, 81 on the offense. After the play, personal foul, 24 on the defense. Those plays will offset, 2nd down.
So offsetting penalties, 2nd down, the play stands, so it's 2nd down and 4.5 for the Cougars right at the 35. Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. In the slot on the far side of the field is going to be Zion Slade. Shaden Perry at quarterback. Perry hands it up. That's Devon holding on to the ball. Damon. I keep calling him Devon, don't I? It's Demon.
We saw Devon Booth go over 100 against Fullerton last week, and Damon Banks is trying to go over 100 this week.
So it's Damon Banks. So I apologize on that one. Banks having a great first half as a running back. Banks stays in the backfield. We get a jump that should be against the Hornets. Free play. Throw it out there easily to Littles. Littles gets a gain. I'm going to say 1st down. Oh, just short.
So it's going to be offside against Fullerton in the neutral zone. Call that encroachment. And so they've got a pretty good running back tradition here at College of the Canyons. We've seen Fred Winborn, who was an All-American on that team in 08-09 with Hale Carpenter and those guys. J.J. Arrington also earlier in the 2000s came to College of the Canyons.
2nd down and 1. Right at the 45. One more time up the middle. So the running of the Cougars is starting to work against this Fullerton defense.
Yeah, and that time it was Samaje Freeman, Mark, who picks up the 1st down. So Fullerton's defense, that hypeness that they had in the first quarter seems to be wearing down here late in the second.
9-7. 4 minutes to go. Cougars trying to sneak their way in front. Jaden Perry looks over. Taylor to the near side of the field. Stands in there, waits for it. So stands in there and waits for it. And Corey Ryan, you see a different quarterback right now. Not dancing, not moving, standing there, trusting his offensive line. At quarterback is Jaden Perry for the Cougars.
Well, one of the things that you're seeing over the last 5 or 6 plays is that he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. So there's no chance for that defensive line for Fullerton College to really penetrate the backfield because the ball is already out and going to a receiver within the first 3 seconds.
Second down and a long 6. Here comes the pressure. Go up the middle of the field. Drops it in. Fought for all the way down. What a catch by Littleberry as Joshua Littleberry had everybody beat. Ball was thrown short, but he came back and caught it.
Christian Cross bit. There was no fake there, but Christian Cross reading the backfield, thinking there was going to be a quick throw, comes up 2 steps. Littleberry gets behind him. They've been setting up that play since the get-go. Almost 6. They're down in the 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. This offense for College of the Canyons has calmed down and now doing their thing.
Play clock at 8. They quickly come out. Quarterback sneak. Don't think he made it. They're going to say no, he didn't. So I have a timeout right now on the field.
And Perry's helmet comes off, so he'll have to come out. Cam Fouts was a backup last week for the Cougars, and let's see if he gets in there now.
I think they're going to let it wind down. He's going to call a timeout here, Corey. Because if he calls a timeout, the way I understand it, does not the player get to go back in if a timeout is called?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
So Ted Iacenda says this play and this drive where we're at is too crucial not to have our starting guy in there. So he's going to burn the timeout and see what magic they can come up with. He was a magical player when he played here, one of the local legends.
And then went to the University of Southern California and played under John Robinson.
And I believe he was a player of the year in high school here in the area.
And really, when you look at his years here, I mean, because of COVID, they didn't play during that time, but they had a successful 18, a successful 17, and a successful 16. When you look at that, outstanding records by the Cougars for those 3 years when he was head coach here. So he's done a very, very fantastic job here at College of the Canyons as the leader of this football team. Damon Banks comes out at running back. Spearman with him. The big guys are out there. And in the middle of all that, they hand it off. Give it to Spearman. Can't get to the corner. Loss on the play.
Outstanding swim move up the middle by Eric Hill. And they lose 5 yards, and now it's going to be a 3rd down and goal from the 6 instead of the 1. Excellent play by the Hornet up front.
Jacoby Taylor will come to the near side of the field. Tight formation with Taylor. Josh Smith also will be with him, and Calvin Littles. Jaden Perry at quarterback looks over at his trio. We get
I'm going to get a timeout mark before the delay of game call.
Their second of the half.
So they call timeout number 2.
And guys, if you really want a history and what's going on with College of the Canyons and their athletic program, not just their football program, check out sportsnetusa.net. Go to the YouTube page, Sportsnet USA 1, and check out the videos there. But check out one video of the show. Podcast, we had nothing to do during COVID. So we decided, or Ed Ford decided, YouTube will talk to people. And one of the people we talked to was Chuck Lyon, the athletic director here at College of the Canyons, a legendary football coach here at College of the Canyons. And it was almost an hour interview. We could have gone 2 hours talking to Chuck. Go ahead and go there and watch that, and you'll learn a lot about the Cougar program and the Cougar mentality.
It went that long because you're so talkative.
Mm-hmm. I'm the talkative one. Okay.
I hardly said a word. I told him my name, and I think that's the last thing I said.
And if you believe that, I've got property to sell you.
2nd and goal from the 6 for the Cougars. Perry rolls out, plants his feet, back of the end zone, incomplete pass. So he was trying to go to the far corner, and he thought for just a second he might find somebody back there, and that was Anthony Spearman. And Spearman was covered and then ran out of real estate. Brings up a 4th and goal, so they're going to try with Morrison to see if they can take this 1-point lead with 1:01 to go here in the first half. Ball is spotted. Kick is up, and the kick is good with 57 seconds to go. Well, if you like nail biters, this is the game. College of the Canyons 10, the Hornets 9 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, the old guy, bringing you the action here on Sportsnet USA.net. Next week, Alan Hancock. It's an early game on Sportsnet USA.net.
Guys, when you take a look at the defense for Fullerton College, that's another, it almost feels like a big victory for them on that last series, especially considering that they were able to make 4 straight stops inside the 4-yard line, and you turn it into just 3 points. Considering how well that offense looked on that drive going up to that point, that's big for the Hornets.
And let's see, with 57 seconds to go in the first half, can they get in field goal range themselves and try to take this lead back? Because College of the Canyons, they've taken over the second quarter. Fullerton had the first quarter. And this is shaping up to be one of the classic Canyons Hornets matchup.
Clouds are settling over the field. It's getting a little cool. Feels like a true autumn football game. Little pooch shot. It's going to hit and roll out of bounds. So the Hornets will start at the 35-yard line with 57 seconds to go. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, I'm going to let you be offensive coordinators. What are you going to do, Corey Neyland?
I'm going to go back and have a flashback. Marquise Avery set the single game reception record here at College of the Canyons back in 06, I want to say. Could have been 07. I think it was 06.
So it's offsides against the kicking team. They're moving it back 5 yards.
Shouldn't that be a legal procedure into the 35?
So a false start, they're going to wave off the actual kick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they got to re-kick.
Which is a break for College of the Canyons.
Yeah, but I'm airing it out. I'm going, you have a chance to go to the middle of the field when you've got 2 timeouts remaining. Or, like Mark says, Garnett Davis, Tyrell Green Jr., Malik Winston in the flat.
That's it. Get to Ryan Osborn right after this kick. Another little pooch kick. Come running up. Ball's going to hit. Goes through the arms. Love almost just said, I'm going to let it be there. It's a live football. And so the Hornets will start at the 18.
at the very end there, what you saw is him try to sweep his leg over towards the sidelines and touch the football. If he makes contact with the sideline and then touches the football in bounds, he's part of the out of bounds mark, and it would have made it a legal procedure. However, he just wasn't able to get to that football in time.
So Josh Calvin comes out. Tyrell Green Jr., the running back. First down and 10 at the 18 for the Hornets. Josh Calvin keeps it himself. Cross the 20, down at the 23. And the clock will tick. Down to 32. Play clock at 22. Josh Calvin gives it to Tyrell Green Jr., who stumbles his way to the 24. 20 seconds to go before the end of this first half. Third down. And they're going to let the half end as they do. So the Hornets decide to go in down by 1 point as the end of the first half comes, with College of the Canyons having all the momentum. It's the Cougars 10, the Hornets 9, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Well, you know, Ryan Osborn, you and I had an interesting week this week. Around Fullerton College, we decided to go see a little H2O thoroughbreds going on.
Yeah,
and, you know, you and I, very good friends with the head coach there, the two-time national champion on the women's side in water polo. You got to visit with Gabe Martinez. You had a great time out there. And water polo's coming up on our sister station next week on 90.1 KBPK.
One thing that's interesting about talking with Coach Gabriel Martinez is that sometimes you'll just forget that you're still on the air. And that's exactly what happened to me this week. While I was talking to him, it turned into an even bigger conversation, and we both started going back and forth with questions, even for each other at some point. And then something in the back of my mind said, oh wait, we have microphones on. I forgot about that. We probably should end this interview at this point. So we did, and it ended up going 12-plus minutes, but that's just the type of person that Coach Gabriel Martinez is. You go up to him, you say, hey, Coach, I want to talk to you not just about water polo, but about your program. I want to talk to you about the people that you have under you, the student athletes, and what their impact is, what their lives are like as student athletes. And he'll talk to you about all of that. He'll be very blunt with you as well. He's not just going to tell you, you know what, we're going to take it one play at a time, one whistle at a time, one exclusion at a time. No, he'll actually tell you the ins and outs of what's going on with the with the water polo program at Fullerton College. He'll tell you what they do to make sure that the students are studying, what they do to make sure that the students are getting adequate practice time, and also working with the athletic trainers at Fullerton College to make sure that the students aren't just athletes, but they're getting proper recovery time, proper sleep, proper food as well, getting them that education so that way they're not just going out there and simply competing, but they're going out there and being well-rounded individuals when they leave the pool.
Yeah, and when you think about Gabe, too, I think the downside for water polo, and him and I have been very honest about this. We're two older guys that chat. First of all, Ryan, I don't think that many people, when you talk about national championships at Fullerton College, they'll go, oh, yeah, the football team. Football team, I'm not sure how many they got, but I know in the old days, and I think Timmy Burns won one. If you were to say, you do know that our women in water polo, you get about that far and you get this strange look from people, and they go, oh, we got a pool on campus?
Yeah.
He doesn't get the love that he ought to get as a coach.
No, not at all. But part of that is when you look at it, Mark, this is a team that doesn't just have national championships. In the last 8 years, just 8 years, that includes 2 years that didn't count because of COVID, one that wasn't played and one that didn't count. But in the last 8 years, he has 2 national championships 2 runner-up appearances, and also 4 different state finals appearances. That covers the 8 years. That means you're looking at a head coach and you're saying, okay, how good is your program? And Coach Gabriel Martinez is able to look at you truthfully and say, in each of the last 8 years, my team was in the Final Four in California. That's huge. That's success. That's a legacy. So when you take a look at Coach Gabriel Martinez's team and his program, yeah, they're not getting the, we'll say, publicity, the notification that they should be getting. Why? Because they are a national championship caliber team. Multiple national championships. 95, he laid this stat on me during the week. 95% of all of his athletes that go through his program end up not only at a 4-year university, but as a starter at a 4-year university and playing big-time minutes. So if you are a student athlete thinking in your head, okay, I'm going to take a look at Coach Gabriel Martinez, well, statistically, it says that the student athlete who does that ends up going on to the 4-year university level and having great success. So not only is he not getting the notoriety he should, but those stats back him up when you want to look at a person who is really impacting the entire community around him.
Yeah, and don't get it wrong when Ryan and I say he's not getting the notoriety, because his young women are going to big-time schools. I mean, you were talking about one of his stars when you did interviews the other day with him that we're going to use. We've used it in the coaches show, and some more will come up when you do the water polo. And one of his stars was right there, and all of a sudden UCLA got brought up, and you said, oh, that's where she wanted to go to school. And Gabe turned around and looked at you and said, well, UCLA is very interested in her. So it's not that they're moving on to Division III, Division II, not that there's anything wrong with that, or NAIA, but it's the big water polo powerhouses that are taking Gabe Martinez's women and elevating them on the next level.
Well, Mark, you mentioned that story, and I asked him about it. I said, hey, can we talk about Charlie Jackson just for a little bit? And he said, not only can we talk about Charlie, but we can talk about her on the air. He was completely willing to say what she went through. And you take a look at Charlie Jackson, as he told me, went to a high school that was renowned for not really having a big-time water polo program. It was basically whoever was willing to be in the pool would join the water polo program and play. She does that, goes on to play for Coach Gabriel Martinez, and he said that he looked at her after the first few practices and said, you're going to be a leader on this team. And so last year, we got to interview her as she was just joining the program, or at least turning into that leadership role that he talked about. And she talked about how she was looking to use her experience at Fullerton College and at the junior college level to kind of boost herself forward into a 4-year program. Give her that opportunity to use athletics and turn it into an academic opportunity in the future. That was what she would like to do. That's what she told us she'd like to do. Well, all of a sudden, this last year, because of the academics, because of the leadership that she's taken with her program, because of her own personal stats, and because of her play in the pool, she will be going to UCLA. As Coach Gabriel Martinez and Charlie Jackson herself mentioned it, it's a huge thing for her because Coach Martinez said it himself. He said when she was joining the water polo program initially out of high school, she didn't know if that was going to be a possibility. Well, now all of a sudden you're looking at it, maybe 4 years later, and you have a student athlete who dedicated themselves to a program, who dedicated herself to a leadership role, who dedicated herself to her studies and her teammates, and it's turned into a place where she gets to go to her dream school because of the impact that not only Coach Martinez has, but because of Charlie Jackson's willingness to commit to the program.
And he double dips. We did the swimming championships for the CCCAA on SportsNetUSA.net last year. Albert Robles and myself and Ed Ford were out there. And, of course, we looked at that, Ryan, and you went out there on one of the days also. And, of course, the day that I went out, the coach looks over at me and goes, you're here. And then I looked at him and I says, oh, yeah, I can't make it tomorrow. But, Ryan, my guy Ryan's showing up. I got to watch one of the best swimmers at Fullerton who looked great in the prelims. I actually thought she was going to walk away with a first or second when we got to the finals. She did swim extremely well. So not only is it the water polo program that really does well at Fullerton, it is the swimming program in general that has been advanced because of Gabe. And let's just be honest, you're around him a lot. Friendly, articulate, fun, hard-nosed, business at the pool, lets his women know, hey, if you're not going to work hard, don't swim for me. You're not going to be out here. Brutal practices, we've seen them, and yet at the end of the day, one of the nicest men you would want to know. And you ought to know because you do all the interviews with him. So it's buddy while you're on the air.
You know what? I'll go back to what you were talking about with the swimming championships. That swimmer that you were talking about was Anushka Jayevsky. And Anushka Jayevsky, we got to talk to her on the coaches show because she was having such a good swimming program throughout the entire season leading up to the state championships. We asked her, okay, what's kept you focused? What keeps you on track to go to the state championships? And what she said was mental mindset on her own part, but also her coaching staff. Gabriel Martinez, making sure that she stays focused on her studies, stays focused on her training, stays focused on her practices. And Coach Gabriel Martinez, before she went out there, said she would have a really good showing at the state championships, where she set her own personal records multiple times. She was able to qualify for state championship finals and also had some of the best finishes in recent memory for Fullerton College, just because she was able to go under Coach Martinez's wing and say, I'm going to commit to what Coach Martinez is saying. Now, when you talk about that swim program as a whole, this last year was almost a banner season for them. They were surprising other teams with swimming pedigrees, swimming legacies.
Oh, yeah.
That weren't expecting to look up and say, oh my gosh, Fullerton College is in the top 2 each and every time that they finish a competition. But yet that was the case because Coach Martinez and his swimming team had great communication. They had great opportunities to go out there and practice and train and recover as well. He took care of those athletes, and in turn, they turned in one of the greatest seasons in Fullerton College swim and dive history. So if you want to talk about the pool program as a whole, it's huge when Coach Gabriel Martinez is at the helm. Now, if you want to talk about Coach Gabriel Martinez as a person, one thing that I have always learned from Coach Martinez is that he is absolutely willing to be able to go up to you if you talk to him about his program or about his players. He will look at you and he'll say, let's do it. Let's talk about what's going on with my program. Let's talk about what we can improve on. Let's talk about what we're doing well. And he will sit there and talk to you as much as you want, as long as you make sure that you talk to him about his program, keep it on track. He will talk to you and let you know everything that is going on with swim, dive, and water polo as well. Coach Gabriel Martinez has been a wealth of information for us over at 90.1 KBPK and on the Coaches Show as well.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more about the program and hear from some of the women that swim for Gabe, don't forget to go to the latest Coaches Show on 90.1 KBPK. Catch Ryan Osborn having his interview with Gabe, a couple of the swimmers, and Michelle having a quick interview with one of the swimmers there, and then an update from Holden Remy on the football team, all on the latest Coaches Show here on 90.1 KBPK. And if you're a water polo person, you love watching that game, well, you can watch it next Wednesday on our sister station at 90.1 KBPK. We're going to have a little water polo in the afternoon, volleyball in the evening here on 90.1 KBPK. Ryan Osborn, Joseph Pavlenko will be bringing the action along with the old guy and Corey Neyland. We'll all be there this coming Wednesday, so make sure, stick around for a little water polo and volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. But we're at football. Two teams trying to get in the top 10. Ryan Osborn, these two teams would love to climb the mountain You're sitting there staring who's at the top of the mountain right now. So I'm getting out of your way this rest of this halftime to let you chat about who's who and who is not.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the rankings in the state of California. Last week, we had our little sportsnetusa.net rankings, and we took a look at who really deserves to be in the top 10. Well, when you look at the current rankings after last weekend, and remember, Fullerton College took that loss to Cerritos, so they were ranked at number 7 or number 8, depending on which poll you looked at. That changed. In the last poll, City College of San Francisco, to absolutely no one's surprise, they end up staying as the number 1 team in the state of California. They have a 2-0 record. They had 12 first-place votes, with Riverside City College, who continues to crank out victories. They had 3 first-place votes, so they stay at 1 and 2. College of San Mateo had a top 10 victory last week, so they stay at number 3. And then College of the Canyons right here taking on Fullerton College live from Santa Clarita. They get a first place vote and they finish at number 4 in the top 10. Golden West slides in at 2-0, number 5. So the top 5, no changes, no surprises. Everyone sees what quality these top 5 teams have, and they're awarding them so. Mount Sac at number 6 with Cerritos, who slides into the top 10 for the first time this season. Remember, they just got past Pasadena City College to start off week number 1 by a 33-31 score. Last week, they beat a top 10 team in Fullerton, who was number 8 at the time, 32-24. So they move into the top 10. They're number 7 in the state. Laney College, couple of big-time victories over the last 2 weeks to top 15 opponents. They're number 8 now, 2-0. They slide into the top 10 with San Diego Mesa right behind them at 2-0. San Diego Mesa is actually playing on sportsnetusa.net today. They're facing East LA. We'll get you a scoring update in just a little bit. So after San Diego Mesa, rounding out the top 10, it is Ventura, who ends up getting a surprise defeat last week. One that not many people saw coming. They went from top 5 to sitting at number 10 as they go to a 1-1 record. To round out the top 15, it's El Camino and Reedley. American River, Fullerton at number 14, so they drop back to behind where they were in the preseason rankings. And then Butte College at 1-1, who was previously in the top 10, but of course they got upset by College of the Sequoias just a couple weeks ago. So that's the top 10. City College of San Francisco, Riverside City College, College of San Mateo, College of the Canyons, Golden West, Mount Sac, Cerritos, Laney, San Diego Mesa, and Ventura. That's the top 10 in the state of California, which means that it's time for us to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll start with the Northern California scores, where at 1 p.m. there was a surprise. Sierra College beats Reedley, who was previously undefeated and had made their way into the top 13. Well, that is no more. Reedley College ends up dropping it 16-10 as Sierra had a 13-point second quarter, and they would never trail in that one. And Reedley is taken down by a 6-point deficit final. San Mateo and Modesto. Remember, Modesto is ranked in the top 10, but they have back-to-back losses to top 10 opponents. So that will mean that they end up dropping this one to San Mateo, a 35-14 final score. LA Valley and LA Southwest. LA Valley gets their first win of the season, 45-32. They had a 31-point first half, and they were able to ride the coattails of that big-time lead in the first 30 minutes of play and rode it all the way into a victory for their first of the season. Mount San Jacinto College, 60-30, a final over top of Moore Park. Mount San Jacinto will go to 2-1, Moore Park to 1-2. Then you go over to San Francisco and Butte. One matchup that was heavily anticipated because you had Butte, who had been in the top 10, but got upset. But this week, they decided to do the upsetting themselves. Butte takes a final over San Francisco, and they will end up winning 35-14. So not just a little bit of a squeaker, They absolutely dominated City College of San Francisco by 3 scores. 17-point second quarter. They ended up getting a safety at the end of the game as well. And City College of San Francisco has their first loss in nearly a year and a half. And they will end up dropping. So it all is going to depend on what happens in the rest of the top 5. But I can assure you, San Francisco will not be number 1 in the next poll that comes out. Laney ends up winning over Siskiyous 46-25. That's the final, so Laney stays in the top 10. They'll probably move up as well. Golden West College is currently 2-0, and they are with a lead over top of Bakersfield, 24-14. Actually, that one goes final. It's a 24-14 win for Golden West College over top of Bakersfield. So Golden West stays undefeated, and they will continue their trek looking for number 1. Now, here's another interesting one. American River College was ranked in the top 10. They go down this Saturday because Fresno City College beats them 42-7. That's right, 42-7. Fresno City College beats American River, and American River will end up getting their second loss of the season. So the top 10 is just absolutely shaken up all over California to this point. We go to a couple of scores that are currently in progress. Pasadena City College 20-3. They lead Santa Ana at home. The other game here on SportsNetUSA.net, East LA College sticking with San Diego Mesa at the end of the second quarter. Into halftime, it's 14-13. San Diego Mesa with a 1-point lead. Just like here, Canyons and Fullerton, 1 point is the difference. Ventura at the end of the third quarter is beating El Camino 12-0. And then a team that Fullerton College will see next week, Allen Hancock 10, Cerritos 7. That's going into about 8 minutes left in the third quarter there. So that's going to wrap up our out-of-town scoreboard, and we will continue to keep you updated all across California as the game continues to go on. We remind you, Canyons 10, Fullerton 9. Both of these two teams battling to a 1-point difference. And again, for College of the Canyons, this is a big chance for them to move up in the rankings because City College of San Francisco loses this week, and they end up dropping their game to Butte by 3 scores, 35-14. So, College of the Canyons, Fullerton College coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll bring it back to the voices of Fullerton College football, Mark Pavlovich and Corey Neyland, as they get set for the second half.
How come I always say Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, Mark Pavlovich, we, and Mr. Windy over here to my left always gives it back that we're the voices. No, all three of us are the voices for Fullerton College Sports. Corey, you've got the stats in front of you. I know you just got back up here. I didn't look at the stats, so I can't really say. Was it an offensive game when you just glanced?
No,
okay.
It was ugly. That's from a coach as well. It wasn't pretty in the first half. The offense wasn't clicking for either side really, but the defense was really where it's at. First possession for Fullerton College, they go a 3 and out. Canyons played well. First defensive set for Fullerton, they get a pick 6. That's their touchdown, and then they went for 2 instead of the extra point, so that's why we're at 10-9 here. But it wasn't any prettier on either side. Fullerton, 27 yards passing in the first half. Let me repeat that, 27. They need to find a rhythm. And whether that rhythm is passing, whether that rhythm is establishing the run to get the pass, whatever. But Tyrell Green Jr., 11 carries, 38 yards on the ground. Last week, Canyons held, for the first 2 games, I should say, held their opponents to 68 yards rushing only. Fullerton, 87 yards rushing only. 54 yards on the ground for Canyons, 32 for the Hornets. Chaden Perry, 10 of 16, 114 yards, 1 TD. 1 interception. Damon Banks really lifted that offense for the Cougars. 4 carries officially, 34 yards, 8.5-yard average. that's really it. There was no offense really to speak of, just a defensive battle. You know what they would say, Mark? We're going to show some biasness right now. On the West Coast, this is boring. East Coast and down south, this is great defense.
You know what? I think the defense has really come up, but the offenses for both these teams have really struggled tonight.
And it really is due to the defense.
Yeah, and the defenses have played well as College of the Canyons deferred, so they will get the ball back to start this second half. They're up by 1. It's 10-9. The Cougars over the Hornets here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and another kickoff goes out of bounds for Fullerton to start this game.
Each kicker on the kickoffs has kicked at least 2 out of bounds, and it just keeps on continuing. So, first down and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds. I'm a kicking team. Ball will be placed at 35
So you come down and you kick a field goal to end the first half, basically. You take the lead. Now you get the ball to start the second half of play. And this is exactly what you want if you're the Cougars.
Shaden Perry comes out. Damon Banks at running back has had an excellent game. Calvin Little's over on the far side of the field. First down and 10 at the 35. Perry goes back, looks to go down on the far side of the field. What a catch, and you've got to look at that young man, Jacoby Taylor. One-hands it, pulls it in, first down, across the 50 for the Cougars.
You can't have any better coverage by Cassius Kearns. He turns his head at the right time, puts his hand up. Think he had a hand on it, but Taylor was just there to bring it down and tap dance on the sideline for a first.
So Damon Banks stays in the game, along with, I think, Freeman's also in there at running back. Taylor comes over here in the near side of the field. Little in the slot. He moves up. We're going to get timeout because there was confusion on the play by College of the Canyons with 14-17. That's right, 14-17. We just started the second half. It's the Cougars 10, the Hornets 9 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Mark Corey, really want to welcome everyone who is watching on SportsNetUSA.net, whether it be from Austin, Texas, and you're watching a family member, or it's one of those Fullerton Hornet alumni from the last few seasons who are watching online. We thank you for joining us and watching Fullerton College football here on SportsNetUSA.net.
So the defense for the Hornets come out. Ant Harris, Bryce Dunnock in the middle, Eric Hill, and Amari Williams are the ends. Harm, McNeely, and Tidenois are the backers.
So the Cougars come out. Jacoby Taylor just made the catch, goes in motion, goes down the field. There's protection, step up in the middle, drop it off to the running back, Damon Banks. And Banks just standing there in the flat gets that first down, and so we move the chains as Cougars get across the 30, first down.
And that's what they'll do. If there's nothing longer up, it seems like they had 2 runners going, they'll just dump it out to the flat and you pick up a first down.
Littleberry to the far side of the field. Little in the slot next to him. This time the quarterback keeps it, goes up the middle, gets a gain of, I'm going to say 3 in the play, second down and 7, just short of the 25.
So Anthony Wilson and Kadari Kearns are the safeties for the Hornets. The near side is Cassius Kearns and the far side is Christian Cross.
Littleberry, the far side of the field. Little's in the slot on the far side of the field. Jacoby Taylor, the near side of the field. Great catch to get him down there. Big second down. Once again, quarterback keeps it, fakes it to Banks. Gain of 2 in the play. It's going to bring up a third down and 6 at the 26.
Tidenois makes the tackle as he comes and fills as Blake Hill came and just gobbled up the ball carrier. Good quarterback read there to bring it out to pick up a couple yards. Good defense by the linebacker to read the play and stay at home.
Josh Smith now comes in. He's going to be tight on the far side of the field. Banks still at running back. They move Taylor out just a little. Perry taking his time. Now he brings everybody in. Here comes the pressure up the middle. Finds it on the crossing pattern at the 20. They clear everybody out. Great thing by Littleberry. As he comes back on what they did is they cleared everything out. He comes straight across on a crossing pattern, catches it, and picks up another 12 yards on the run.
And guys, that's the exact same play that they ran last week with Josh Smith, the tight end, against Southwestern, and scored a touchdown in this area as well. Because what they do is they had 4 wide receivers in the set. They send 3 wide receivers up the field, and they just do a little drag, this little square in, this time to Littleberry, and he picks up the catch. But again, in enough space to move down the field and get them in 1st and goal to the 3, an extra 10 yards after the catch.
So Brian Crooks walks out on the field to talk to his defense, who looked good in the first half, made stops, but now it's maybe the cracks are showing up in the walls, and College of the Canyons is knowing where to go. We'll see what happens. They're up by 1 with 12:28 to go. It's the Cougars 10, the Hornets 9 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Bryce Dunnick was the injured Hornet who walks off under his own power.
Spearman comes back in the game at running back. Banks is with him. Tight formation. They hand it to the up back. The scrum is on. A little pushing and going. They're going to call him short right there. So it's going to be 2nd and goal for the Cougars. And once again, if they score here, well, it could be that 1-point game that we dealt with so much last week against Cerritos College. 2nd and goal from the 1. Same formation. Banks and Spearman in at running back. Tight formation. This time, they hand it to Spearman, and he's crossed. Touchdown, Cougars.
So a good opening drive, solid opening drive for the Cougars, and there's a flag in the end zone, some talking going on. But that's what you needed to end the half with 3 points, and you took the lead at 10-9. Now you start the opening of the second half, and you score 6 points. You can't write it up any better than that, and executing when you needed to execute.
Now we'll see if this is unsportsmanlike conduct on 2 teams. It's against the Hornets because they've already asked the coach for College of the Canyons what he wants to do.
Touchdown. After the play, personal foul, defense, number 92. So a 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
And that's Ant Harris. So the Hornets with only 3 penalties in the first half, and that's good for the Hornets. 3 penalties and a half. But here they start off a big penalty, and you can't really afford that when you go down by a touchdown and possibly 8 points if the extra point is made.
Morrison comes in. They'll spot the ball at the 10. Ball is spotted. Kick is up. And the kick is good. With 11:37 to go. The beginning of the second half, well, it's all Cougars. It's the Cougars 17, the Hornets 9 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So we're going to get a penalty against the Hornets that will move them back 15 more yards, and the Cougars up 15 yards. Trickery, chicanery, if either one of you were coach, or just a straight deep kick?
I'm going to do a straight deep kick because College of the Canyons has found their rhythm now. So you don't need to do a pooch kick. You know, I'd like to see it, but you don't need to see a pooch kick or anything like that because your defense is playing outstanding, and you want to create that havoc on defense, force another turnover, because what has Fullerton's offense done in that first half to tell you that they can move the ball against your squad?
Kristen Stewart and Love back deep for the Hornets. College of the Canyons will kick off from the 50. So, kick out of bounds gave them the ball on the 35. Then they have a penalty, which moves them. So, the second half is started in favor of the Cougars. Big driving kick out of the end zone. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Hornets. So special teams have not done or functioned the way the Hornets would like them to do this night. First down and 10, 11:37. Corey Ryan. Want to thank Ryan here at halftime, telling you all about the water polo program. Like I said again, if you want to know more, make sure you see the Coaches Show on 90.1 KBPK. Hornets come out. First down and 10 at the 25. Tyrell Green Jr. takes it up to almost the 30. They're going to mark him down at the 27.
And before he can get his full head of steam, Cole Bullock rips him down.
Gain of 3 on the play. Josh Calvin at quarterback. Tyrell Green, the running back. Second down and 7. Lights have taken effect on the field. Josh Calvin goes back. Throws a quick out. This time caught right there by Ryan Franklin. Just short. Oh, they're going to say he got the first down.
Oh, wow.
Great spot.
Excellent spot, because he was 2 yards shy of the first down. And Ryan Franklin picks it up. Good throw by Josh Calvin, what he needed, but he was brought down by Quentin Moten.
Gibson to the near side of the field. Straight up the middle. One more time. Tyrell Green Jr. Gain of 2 on the play. Hasn't found that hole that he can squeeze through and take off running at.
Isai Martinez is one big reason why. He's got 3 tackles tonight and a sack.
Tyrell stays in the game. Gibson the near side of the field. Second down and 8 at the 37 for the Hornets. Calvin sets his feet, middle of the field. Gibson's got it. Gets taken down at the 50. First down for the Hornets.
And good pitch, good catch. And the first down when you move the chains and a little deep in. Will Gibson might have the best hands on the team. And we'll say about that about every receiver for Fullerton, that they have the best hands on the team.
Koenig to the far side of the field along with Jordan Smith. Gibson stays here. Bump and run against Gibson on the near side of the field. Cougars almost jump. Calvin looks over. Tyrell Green Jr. still in at running back. Josh Calvin at quarterback. First down and 10 at the 50. Calvin tries to outrun somebody. He's down on the ground, caught from behind. Then the ball comes out. Guys, the way that looked, it looked like a broken play at first because he stopped, and I thought he was looking for someone else and then took off running.
So initially that handoff was supposed to go to his right. He turns to his right. However, the running back was lined up off his left hip. So when he turns to his right, there's no one there. And by the time he realizes it, rolls out to his right, someone's already in the backfield.
When you're out of the pocket, you have to throw that away instead of losing that yardage to James Jeanette.
Loss of 5. Tyrell Green Jr. goes in motion. Gibson looking to throw a screen pass, and the defense for the Cougars were all over it like chocolate over ice cream in a sundae.
And the Cougar defense, they're fast and they're aggressive, but here's the thing, that screenplay might not work, and it didn't work because they're only rushing 4. They're not getting to Calvin and the quarterbacks for Fullerton with 5 and 6 and blitzing. They're only getting with 4. So that screen pass, they still have 3 backers in the middle of the field, and it's not going, and you saw it there.
Gibson comes on the near side of the field. Big third down and 15 for the Hornets. Cougars went someplace. The Hornets have to. Josh Calvin, middle of the field. Taken right there out of the air by Koenig. Touchdown, Hornets.
The safety for College of the Canyons could not decide if he wanted to go for a pick on that seam route or if he wanted to lay him off. That's Jeremiah Cox and wanted to lay out Koenig. So that indecision completes the seam. And the best pass plays for Fullerton this season have been in the seam. They score here, 55 yards out.
And both of them have been to Aiden Koenig each of the last 2 weeks.
Hornets go for 1. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 8:47 to go, well, the Hornet offense woke up. Come up with a big pass play here on sportsnetusa.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn. Guys, I'm going to go back again. Corey, basically, the play happens. Not only does Koenig run and the pass is there, but defense can't decide what to do.
Yeah, the defense, Jeremiah Cox couldn't decide if he wanted to lay out or intercept. Koenig might have the best hands on the team for Fullerton as a receiver, but the ball, that was the best thrown ball by Josh Calvin in 2 games.
And Ryan, they've been getting to Calvin with a 4-man rush. At least the offensive line that time gave him time to throw it.
They did, and that's the thing. When it was a clean pocket, he was able to step into that throw. You saw him. This time he sets his feet, makes sure that he's throwing off the correct foot, moves to his left, and sends it right down the middle to where only his receiver can get the football. That's the second time in 2 weeks that Koenig gets that exact same play, and it has resulted in touchdowns each time.
So with 8:47 to go here in the third quarter, it's now the Cougars 17, the Hornets 16 here on sportsnetusa.net. Kick all the way back to the 5. So the action is picked up. Maybe it's because it's a little cooler there. Ball taken down at the 25, and now it's starting to get a little nasty. Well, this is nothing new in the College of the Canyons game.
No, it's not, and it's just an annoying, though, because big penalties for both squads occur. Good job by the officials of separating. Flippin gets tackled by Brandon Sun. Let's hope cooler heads prevail, as we do have a good ball game brewing.
Shaden Perry comes out at quarterback. Spearman at running back. First down and 10, right at the 25-yard line. Quarterback keeps it, gets across the 30, all the way out to the 35, so he's become more aggressive as a runner in this game.
What allows that is the throws he's made in the last few possessions on target to his receivers. The linebackers have to hold just a little bit because the run game as well from Banks on averaging 8 yards a carry has to freeze him for just a moment.
Taylor to the near side of the field. Little to the far side. Another ball comes out. Little ball. Who's got it? The Hornets say they do. Fumble. Turnover for the Hornets.
And that's Fullerton coming up with it. It looks like Jeremiah McNeely comes up with the fumble. There's a penalty on the play, and there's talking, so there's 2 penalties.
So initially, the first penalty was going to be on College of the Canyons. There was a run over after the end of the play. However, the guy that initially draws the penalty hits the gritty right in front of the first initial guy who takes the penalty and gets one on his own. So those are going to offset.
But the Hornets will retain the fumble because these are penalties after the play with 8:02 to go here in the third quarter.
So Fullerton would have it at the 33-yard line in Cougar territory. And now officials goes over, talks to Garrett Campbell, talks to Ayacinda.
Fouls on the play. After the play, personal foul, defense, Canyon, number 77. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on Fullerton, number 84. Those penalties will set. Correction, 94 on sportsmanlike, Fullerton. That's number 94 is sportsmanlike.
So we'll see if the Hornets can do something with this break. And so Perry fumbled the ball, but the thing is, it looked like he got on the back of his own player. And that caused the fumble. He really didn't have possession and just popped out. So Koenig, let's see if he makes magic again.
So Josh Calvin brings them back out. First down and 10 at the fumble at the 34-yard line. Tyrell Green Jr. goes in motion. They throw a little option out to the corner. No blocks made. Gain of about a half a yard. So that basically was a flanker screen. You run the running back in. Then the end comes back to catch the pass. That was the Gibson. No block was made. Gain of a half a yard on the play.
So you set that up in the future as Tyrell Green on a wheel route, faking the receiver screen.
Franklin comes to the near side of the field with Kristen Stewart this time. Josh Calvin still at quarterback, second down. Faking Tyrell Green Jr. has time, middle of the field, drops it right there, and that ends up going to Michael Love, who catches his first pass of the night for the Hornets for a 1st and goal for Fullerton.
And a 16-yard gain, actually a 23-yard gain for the Hornets. And 1st and goal, Mark, you said, let's see, they have to punch it in here for a touchdown. If you're a Hornet fan, if you're a Cougar fan, you say, well, the ball popped out of my quarterback's hand. Let's pop it out of their quarterback's hand.
Tyrell Green Jr. as the running back. Josh Calvin as the quarterback. 1st and goal inside the 10. They fake it again. All by himself. Touchdown! Jordan Smith got lost, and I don't know how, guys, he got lost for a touchdown, Corey Neyland.
That's the setup. That time they didn't use Tyrell Green on the wheel route. What they did is they faked C.J. Broy, that screen pass on the outside to the right side. Jordan Smith slips the screen, kind of like a basketball play, towards the hoop, slips the screen into the end zone, and he's wide open.
So the Hornets take the turnover to grab the lead. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. So it's 6:45. Well, it was sleepy time in the first half. Now it's giddy up and go in the second half here on SportsNetUSA.net. The Cougars strike first. The Hornets retaliate. The Cougars say, oh, well, watch what we'll do. The Hornets get the fumble. And then all of a sudden Josh Calvin, who couldn't find anybody in the first half, says, well, old guy sitting up in the booth, let me show you my skill set. He has been on the money in this second half. And Corey, let's go back to that play because Jordan Smith was all alone and one of the best receivers. And they got him alone how?
Slip screen. They faked it, like we said, C.J. Broy was open. But again, it's the the confidence that Josh Calvin had in that. They freeze on the with the running back. I'm not going to say it's a play-action pass because nobody thought they were running. But, again, both receivers on the right side. Smith comes out pretending he's going to block for C.J. Broy because they just ran that play. But he slips to the end zone, and he's wide open.
So the Hornets up by 6 with 6:45 in the third quarter. Temperature is dropping. The score is rising here on Sportsnet USA.net.
And here's Sumlin.
Sumlin goes the outside. Corner's not kept. And Sumlin looked like he was going to get to the corner and make the corner, but he doesn't, and he's still down. The young man isn't getting up. He finally does. Good. Thought for a second, don't want anybody injured on the football field. Comes trotting over. So we'll see now how the Cougars answer the Hornets with 6:38 to go here in the third quarter. Damon Banks in at running back. Chaden Perry at quarterback. Jacoby Taylor at the wide receiver. Chaden Perry's got time. Middle of the field. Comes back on a nice little curl route for a gain of 12.
Yeah, Littleberry does a nice route, drives his defender off of the ball by 2 steps, curls back on the outside, and makes that catch, ball delivered perfectly.
Taylor stays here on the near side of the field. In the slot is going to be Calvin Little. Damon Banks still the running back. Chandler Perry. First down and 10 at the 40. Banks goes from left to right. Comes on a counter play, so he comes back the other direction. Gain of 2. So Banks gets a gain of 2. It's going to be not going to give him a long 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 right across the 40.
Middle linebacker Harm and Nesbitt, who's in the ball game for the first time, converge on the stop. And again, crucial possession. And you know what? We're going to say crucial for every possession in the second half because between these two teams, every play is crucial.
Freeman now in at running back. Perry at quarterback. 2nd down and 7. And we're going to get a motion penalty against the Cougars.
And that's Eakin again, his third flag tonight.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And he moved as soon as Little ran by him. When Calvin Littles went right by him, Corey, that's when he flinched on the play. Move it back. It's going to be a 2nd down and 13 now. Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. Calvin Littles to the far side of the field. Freeman running back. Jaden Perry goes back. Frieden comes out here in the flat. Turns the corner at the 40. Gets shoved out of bounds at the 45. They're going to put it at the 46. And we've got a flag at the far side of the field. We'll see if it's on the Hornets.
It looks like it looked like illegal contact or a hold by the Hornets secondary. So it's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Cougars. And they're going to discuss.
Brian Crooks is not happy. Brian Crooks is on the field. Brian normally doesn't walk on the field on a call unless he thinks it's improper. And
After the play, personal foul, blindside block, number 14, offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
now you know why Brian Crooks walked on the field.
There was bumping on the route. And
I didn't see the block.
I did not either.
Did you, Ryan?
No, not at all.
So it's now 3rd down and 20 from the 30 for the Cougars. They're going the wrong direction here with 4:48 to go, but they've got the ability for the big play. Jaden Perry looks to get it down the field. Perry's got time. Here comes the pressures. Perry stays, goes back, gets hit, middle of the field, incomplete. It's going to be a flag against the Hornets.
And that's an automatic 1st down. Tita Nawa got tangled up with the receiver. I think that was Littles fighting for it. And it went from 3rd down and 19 to 1st and 10. And that's that book. You know, you bought that book, Home Cooking, has a whole bunch of chapters.
Number 47, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that's not the makeup chapter. That's not the Revlon chapter, but that's one of those chapters that was a phantom call on the Cougars. And here's a call that could have not been called, but it was.
So Perry gets that 1st down. 1st down and 10 at the 45 for the Cougars. Perry flips it over here at the 50. That's where they'll mark him. Let's see. They're going to mark him where he got pushed back. So it's a gain of 1, not where he caught the football.
And Ryan, remember when Salem Streeter caused the fumble? When he caused that fumble, he did go out of the game holding his shoulder, and he hasn't been seen since. And so, I'm sorry, there he is now. This is the first time that we've seen him.
Jacoby Taylor, the near side of the field. Jaden Perry goes back, rolls away from the pressure, throws it out in the flat. Incomplete pass out of bounds.
He catches the ball, but his body lands out of bounds while his feet stayed in, but they were in the air. And again, Christian Cross was just a little bit later. That would have been another pick 6. So Salem Streeter back in the ball game at the safety position. He's number 4 in white for the Hornets.
Should be 3rd down and 8. It is. So Taylor to the near side of the field. In the slot next to him is Zion Slade. Slade has been quiet as a receiver in this game so far. We'll see what he can do. Here comes the pressure, 4-man rush. Across the middle of the field, caught and dropped in the middle of the field. Taylor had it. Jacoby Taylor turns, ball's a little behind him when he turns, but he should have caught the football.
He takes a look upfield to see who's around him as that football gets set to hit his hands. So it's that old pick up your head, take a look at where you're going to run before you actually secure the football, and it hits the floor.
Jordan Simpson, back deep, will stand at the 10. Morrison kicks, almost gets it. Fair catch caught for, down on a knee at the 20. 3:37 to go. Well, an exciting second half. Cougars take the lead. They took the lead at half. They expanded it here in the second half, and everybody went, oh no, here we go. Hornets come back on a bullet pass for the Hornets by Josh Calvin to Koenig. They get within one. Fumble happens, and then they get another one on a beautiful call by the Hornets, and now they're up by 6 with 3:37 to go here in the third quarter on Sportsnet, USA.net. Nunez in at quarterback for the Hornets. So Nunez comes back in.
Thank you, Jess.
Nunez looks back, has the field, finds Jordan Smith. Smith gets it, stays away from one, gets up to the 30, short of a first down.
And before we get out of here, guys, we also want to thank Jesse Munoz here at College of the Canyons, the SID. Tremendous job. Thank you for welcoming us and letting us do our thing.
Yeah, it was really nice. He answered my email. He said we could. We came, and he's treated us like we're family, and we thank him again. Nunez brings about second down and about a half a foot. Dive play straight up the middle. First down, Malik Winston in the game finds, well, I don't know, was he a slivery?
It wasn't slivery, but he was Savion Glover-like, tap dancing and all the way to that first down through the hole and picks up positive yardage.
I was going to go wearing that 6, a little Philip Butler.
Philip Butler, that's a good one.
Malik stays in the backfield. Nunez says, you did it once, do it twice. Gets to the 40, gain of a half a yard. We're at 2:40 here in the third quarter.
And good interior presence by the Cougars.
Koenig comes to the near side of the field. With him is going to be Gibson. Malik Winston stays in at running back. Nunez at quarterback. Second down and 9 from the 40 for the Hornets. Koenig goes in motion from left to right. Nunez goes back. Here comes the pressure. Down the middle of the field. Picked off right there at the 33.
And he has had himself a game, Mr. Moten with the pick, as Will Gibson faded out. Nunez tried to float it in there, and again, Moten was there to make the play as Gibson just kept floating out and floating out, did not attempt to stop and come back on the ball.
That's a big thing for Moten, too, is that he comes back for that football, just like you said there, Corey. He turns his head around once he feels that that football is on its way in. And when he turns his head around, he realizes, you know what, I can box my guy out for position. So he lets the receiver go right by him, stops, makes sure he adjusts to the football, and comes back for it to secure it.
Perry brings him out at the 35, first down and 10 after the turnover. Perry keeps it himself, tries to turn the corner, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, again, we've talked about some good spots. He got the line, got hit. They're going to give him a yard on that play. Second down and 9.
He got the yard. Chris Harm did a great job of covering for London.
Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. Along with him is going to be Calvin Littles. In the backfield is going to be Damon Banks.
Excuse me, that was LeBaron Kennedy who bit down so hard that the end was wide open.
Second down and 9. Banks at the line of scrimmage. Finds a hole. What a move by the young man. There was nothing there. Found a crack, and he found his way through the land of Oz. First down for the Cougars.
We've been hearing Stephen Eakin's number called 71 for 3 penalties. That time, he held the outside enough for Banks to maneuver and get that first down. Good job for the offensive line.
Banks now comes in the slot on the right-hand side. He's going to be there by Taylor. Empty backfield for the Cougars. First down and 10 at the 45. Perry stands there up the middle of the field all by themselves. And in the hands to Calvin Littles. Touchdown, Cougars. Oh, was it Littles? It was ended up going to Zion Slade.
Yes, it did.
Oh, I
Zion
thought it was
Slade.
Little. My mistake.
And so 54 yards, a great throw. And again, Perry did a great job of waiting for his receiver to get open, and that took time. So the offensive line did their job. As a secondary, you can only hold the man so much. And again, safety was out of position, and the throw was perfect. 4-6.
So Zion Slade, not Littles, is the receiver on that play. On a beautiful play by the Cougars, and they come down the field. The ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. With 54 seconds to go, well, this has been a night of charades. You're doing what? Whom? Oh, I get that one. And in this quarter, it's been all about finding the big pass on the touchdown, Ryan Osborn. It has been amazing for these Cougars in this half.
You know, Mark, and you talk about the energy between both sides in the second half. We saw it in the first half. Methodical, discombobulated, no chemistry. That's what it looked like, at least from both of these two sides. However, here in the second half, you're seeing them both play to their strengths. There's the cliche for the night. Both teams playing to their strengths, because you see College of the Canyons, like Corey said, they'll dime you up on offense. 5 yards here, 8 yards here, 6 yards here, 7 yards here, and then they'll go for the deep ball. That's how their offense works, and they did it perfectly on that drive coming off the turnover.
Love and Stewart back deep. Kick taken by Love at the 20. Looks at the 30, tries to get a hole. Gets pulled down from behind, but he gets across the 30. It'll be a good starting point. So first down and 10, 48 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Josh Calvin comes back on the field. Gibson comes to the near side of the field. Koenig comes with him. First down and 10, right across the 30 here in the third quarter. Calvin, cross, looks the middle, gets the middle right there. C.J. Broy comes down with it at midfield. So they go to C.J. Broy with 41 seconds to go. The clock stops. They'll move the chains. Josh Calvin is a different quarterback from night to day in this second half so far. Calvin brings them out at midfield. First down and 10. Straight dive. Green tries to turn. Can't turn the corner. Taken down at the 50. So Tyrell Green Jr. gets maybe 6 inches.
This linebacking core of the College of the Canyons Cougars, Mark, is maybe the fastest we see all season. Tylen Foster, Brian Snoke, and Cole Bullock are always around the ball. And it's very hard to get those inside runs and scoot out because they play perfectly.
That's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. As we come to the end of the third quarter, well, hey guys, hold on to your hats, because anybody could walk away with this victory. It's the Cougars 24, the Hornets 23, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, the old guy, hold it on tight to see if the Hornets can squeak one out here in this fourth quarter. Well, it's been played tight all the way. We got 15 minutes to go, and at the end of that time, somebody's going to walk away with a victory here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Speaking of people in front right now. Ryan, any scores from around the area?
We do indeed have some. Allen Hancock, who Fullerton will play next week, is up 17-16 on top of Cerritos with 10:25 left to go in that one. And Chaffee and Long Beach, it is Chaffee 28, Long Beach 17. They are just about to start the fourth.
Josh Calvin brings them out. Tyrell Green Jr. in the running back. Jordan Smith in the slot. Second down and a long 9 from the 49. C.J. Broy goes in motion. Calvin puts it on the money. Gibson, little behind him. Nice little slant pattern as they motion everybody to the right. The back receiver slants to the right and catches the pass.
Yeah, and he's got a strong body, so even if it's a little bit behind him, he's strong enough to shield Josh Doyle.
First down and 10. Once again, Calvin going deep. Look across the middle of the field, trying to get it there to Gibson. Incomplete pass.
And that play was there. Gibson was a little bit tired from that last route, so he couldn't get that break on Doyle. Calvin needs a little bit more air on that as Gibson will head to the sideline for Michael Love.
I like Gibson was talking to the official over there too, Corey. I don't know if he thought he might have got grabbed a little or not, but no flag, so if there's no flag, there's no penalty. Second down and 10 at the 38. They run it straight up the middle, trying to cut the corner. Tyrell Green Jr. just refuses to go down, and just Corey Neyland. First down for the Hornets.
When you watch that run, you'll realize a guy has to make a decision. He thought about cutting it to the outside and uses his speed, but the smart back which he is, he kept riding the hip of his blocker, and I think that was the pulling guard, Daniel Medelis. Well, I may be mistaken, but he read that block and kept going up the field and picks up the first down.
First down and 10 at the 25. They run it again to him. He goes across tackle, gets a gain of a half a yard on the play.
This time, Francis was in the backfield and makes the stop. But before that, to trip them up was Jackson Stein out of Santa Clarita. Valencia up here, Mark.
Tyrell Green Jr. stays in the game. Jordan Smith comes to the near side of the field with C.J. Broy. Second down and 9 from the 25. Cougars leading by 1. The Hornets are trying to answer. Here come the Cougars. Pressure's coming. Across the middle, right there to Koenig. Koenig, oh! Thought he was going to stand it. My partner to my right went, he going to stay on his feet and score, Corey Neyland.
Jeremiah Cox out of Birmingham Charter makes the wraps him up and thinks he's going to throw him down, but just threw him forward for another couple yards. Koenig, you want somebody in the seam? He's your man.
C.J. Broy to the far side of the field. Smith inside. Koenig the near side. Gibson over here. First and goal from the 5. Throw to Gibson. Back shoulder, touchdown.
And that's a grown-up matchup right there between Gibson and Moulton. Both are having outstanding games. Moulton that interception last time. Gibson says, you ain't got nothing on me, and makes that catch with the left hand.
So with 12:58 to go, the Hornets come back to field and answer. Ryan, I got to ask you, because I said night and day. I was a little cold in that first half. I'm not saying I'm going to apologize, but Josh Calvin has become a different quarterback in this second half.
Well, I mean, you talked about it coming out of the half, Mark. He had 27 yards total in the air in the first half. When you
kick is blocked. Could have taken it back for 2, couldn't do it.
That was DeWitt Wass who picked it up and fell down off a blocked kick. So instead of being 30-24, the score now is 29-24. And it might not make a difference because still a touchdown would put Canyons in the lead.
Well, and realize if the guy doesn't fall down and keeps going, it's 29-26 right now on that. Ryan, sorry about that so quickly. Go ahead and tell me about Calvin.
Well, that's the thing, is that he started to trust his arm here in the second half. You've seen it on each of the 2 throws to Koenig. of the last 2 throws to Gibson as well. He has just decided, you know what? Yes, I might take a hit, but I might as well throw a good toss while I'm doing so. You've seen the confidence here in the second half because he is finishing off his throws. He's finishing off those seams that he wasn't in the first half.
Spearman and Slade back deep for the Cougars. The Hornets 29, the Cougars 24. There is 12 minutes, 58 seconds. On an exciting football game, we'll see who comes out the victor. The way this is going, it could be the last play of the game. Slade's going to take it at the 5. Looks to the outside. Stays on his feet. Turns the corner and makes it to the 35. A beautiful return by Slade, who's a speedy little receiver. First down and 10 at the 35. Shaden Perry comes out. Littleberry to the far side of the field. They run a little draw, a little delay play, gets a gain of 1.
Stacked up by Harm.
So the Hornets up by 5. The Cougars need a touchdown to take the lead. Damon Banks back in the backfield as a running back. Second down and 9 from the 35, let's say. Perry goes back, steps up into his pass. Crossing pattern, missed his receiver Slade, and then Corey, the reflection or the deflection, up for grabs defensively.
Yeah, and nothing going there, but they had a couple receivers open. Josh Smith, the tight end, was coming out on the 40, and he was open. If he catches that, that would have been a first down and more yardage after that.
Third down, 9 at the 35. Littles comes on the slot, near side of the field. Big third down for the defense. Defense backs off. They run a little delay. Looking up the middle of the field. Almost intercepted. Crossing right up on a slant pattern again. And the defense, 4 defenders waiting for that pass.
And that's Salen Streeter again with the deflection and the pass breakup. And he just puts his left hand out there, tried to tip it up for his player to get an interception. But again, reads that perfectly, cuts in front of the receiver. And fourth down.
So Smith back, stands at the 33. 29-24. Morrison's got it, 2-man rush. Smith's going to watch it go end over end, says get away from it, get away from it. They do, and it's going to roll out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So the Hornets, with 11:55 to go, is going to take over the football, a 5-point lead, and good field position here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, the old guy, excited because this game picked up, guys. I tell you what, I mean, it was sort of like, hey, let's put on our pajamas. It's 9 o'clock at night, and then the party started.
The coaching adjustments have been on point for both squads, offensively and defensively, as they've made the right calls at halftime. I think they saw Gabby and said, you know what should we do?
Josh Calvin comes back in. Gibson to the near side of the field. Tyrell Green Jr., the running back. First down and 10 at the 35 for the Hornets. Tyrell Green Jr. straight up the middle. Gets taken down after a gain of 3. You like the fact that they're staying with a running attack and mixing it with the pass.
Yeah, you have to, and that's the only way to slow down this defense. The defense is very fast. Cole Bullock is in on a stop, assisted by Francis, but the defense is very fast and reacts with ferocity. And when you slow them down just a little bit, and you can pick up positive yardage on a run, makes it play action effective.
2nd down and 7. They fake it. Go to Gibson on a slant pattern. Gibson's got the 1st down. And Corey, you talk about him being big with hands as a receiver.
Yeah, big hands, big body, big personality. Will Gibson, 6'3", 205 out of Aliquippa High School in Pennsylvania.
1st down and 10 for the Hornets. They move the chains quickly once again. Josh Calvin rolls, throws back here and throws that one out of bounds. There was nothing there, so safely throws it away.
And that's what Corey was talking about earlier towards the end of the 2nd quarter, is that on those types of plays where there's nothing developing, you toss it out of bounds, keep yourself at the same exact amount of yardage, don't lose anything, and you just reset.
2nd down and 10, right at the 47. Michael Love now comes to the near side of the field. Ryan Franklin at the far side of the field. Josh Calvin keeps it himself, turns the corner at the 50, stays on his feet, goes out of bounds at the 47. Nice pickup of 5 on the play. It'll bring up a workable 3rd down.
And if you're a Hornet fan, you're saying that should have been more, but it shouldn't have, because Brian Snoke was there. That's the speed of the linebackers that we're talking about. Calvin picks up a 1st down if the backers don't have speed.
Cameron Woods, tight end on the near side of the field. Haven't heard anything from Cameron. We'll see if they find that tight end open right here. Big 3rd down. Here comes the pressure. Look for it. Off the hands. The pass was there, and Cameron Woods should have caught the football. No? What?
That was Michael Love.
Michael Love?
Yeah, Michael Love off his fingertips.
Oh, my mistake.
So he should have caught the football. But again, good route, good throw. Just the end execution there that comes up short.
So Calvin Littles and Zion Slade go back. Slade had a nice return last time he was out there. Hornets by 5. 29-24 with 10:27 to go. High floating kick. Signal for a fair catch. Caught right there by Calvin Littles coming down backwards. And they should mark him down at the 10. They're going to mark him at the 10 or the 11. They're going to mark him right at the 11. So with 10:19 to go, the Hornets by 5. The Cougars come out, want to see if they can go. Basically 88 yards for that go-ahead score here in the 4th quarter on Sportsnet USA.net. Jacoby Taylor to the near side of the field. Damon Banks in at running back. Littles in the slot to the near side of the field. Chaden Perry throws it over here, throws it to Littles. Littles gets hit. Loss of 1 or back to the original line of scrimmage.
Great reaction, tackle for loss by Cassius Kearns.
So they're going to call it a loss of 2. 2nd down and 12. Littles goes to the far side of the field. Littleberry goes with him. Big 2nd down and 12 for the Cougars. Perry looks over things. Goes back. Goes, delays, look for somebody open. Gets it to Zion, and the young man again who can't get tackled, Zion Slade, gets it, but we have a flag roughing the passer at the 10-yard line.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense, 92, 15 yards from the end of the play, automatic 1st down.
And that'll be Ant Harris.
So not only does Slade make a great running play after he catches the ball, you tack on 15. And that puts it at the 45. So the Cougars are on the move. 9:32 here in the fourth quarter. Shaden Perry goes back, has time. Nobody wants him. We should get a flag against the Cougars. Takes off running, gets taken down, but it should come back right at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be either a hold or a hands to the face by an offensive lineman. On that left side, it was Donovan Reyes or Sammy Palu. So we'll see what they say. Helmet comes off. That may have been after the play. And you saw the hold as the interior linemen, they were trying to twist.
And there's a discussion going on between the officials.
Personal foul, defense, number 50, 15 yards on the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So what is the flag on the high side of the field?
That no, that is the flag on that field, right?
For the at the end of the run?
No, not at the end of the run for hands to the face. Because there was only one flag. I didn't see the second flag at the end
And the
of the
flag
run.
is against the Hornets.
Yeah, so that was maybe the hands to the face. Maybe they caught the Hornets' hands to the face instead of the Canyons' hand to the face.
They called a personal foul at the end of the run. Is what they called. That's the penalty they called.
Yeah, that was a penalty right there.
The run was down there.
Yeah, but there was a penalty.
That's going to be offsides against the Hornets. Zion Slade once again goes down to the 13.
The flag was in the backfield.
Yes, and the run
And so-
hadn't ended yet.
And so the run had not ended. So at the end of the run, you tag on that flag there.
Outside, defense, number 95, penalty decline, results in play for first down.
How can you have a flag before the run and have it be at, and you called that at the end of the run? You had the flag before the run had ended.
He misspoke. There's a flag on Fullerton. They tack on 15 yards.
Taken down at the 10. I'm just confused. That's why I'm trying to get it cleaned up here.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
So the Cougars are on the move with 8:23 to go. Ray's back at home going, I agree with Mark. There shouldn't have been a flag at all. But the Cougars don't care because they're on the move. At the 10. Second down and 9 with 8:04 to go. They're knocking on the door. Banks back in as running back. Quarterback, Perry keeps it. Stays on his feet. Goes down at the 8.
So no matter what, this is 4-down territory for the Cougars.
Freeman now in the game at running back. Zion Slade comes in the game. Calvin Littles goes to the right. Slade goes with him. Jacoby Taylor here to the near side of the field. Third down and 7 for the Cougars. 7:15 to go, 29-24. Perry goes back, rolls away. Perry runs out, feels the pressure, thrown out of bounds.
And
Fans wanted a flag on roughing the passer, no flag thrown.
Tyler Carter did a nice job. As the ball was being thrown, he makes a nice clean hit, brings him down. and they are going to go for 3. You got to watch the fake here. If you're the Hornets, you let them kick it. You don't want to fall for the fake.
Morrison comes in. Ball spotted at the 15. Kick is up. And the kick is no good. So 6:59 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the Hornets 29. The Cougars 24 on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, I got to go to you because, you know, my partner over here is being mean to me, being cold to me. No, I got to go to you because Corey said he would have gone for it down there for the touchdown.
And I agree with Corey because
Okay.
I also would have gone for it.
But-
Considering where you are with the clock, you're thinking, okay, I might get the football one more time depending on what Fullerton does. If you can go and get yourself into the end zone on that drive, you not only take control of the game, but you kind of take the time of possession away from Fullerton as well.
But that third down call, they didn't make any yardage. So if you're 4th and 8, it's much different. And let's say they pick up 4 yards, the difference than 4 and 4.
First down and 10 for the Hornets at the 20. Quarterback keeper turned the corners, got a block right in front of it. First down for the Hornets. So they run it with the quarterback. He picks up 10, gets outside the 30. 6:53 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Everybody and their cousin knew Tyrell Green Jr. was getting the ball off the 2-hole. Josh Calvin pulls it in and saunters his way for a first down on the left side.
And you got to realize he had Cameron Woods who pulled on that play, the tight end that was in front of him as the lead block. First down and 10 at the 30. Tyrell Green in the backfield. Josh Calvin fakes it across the middle of the field. Not caught, incomplete pass.
They're going to call that a catch.
No.
There's absolutely no way.
And that is Jeremiah Cox recovers the fumble from Michael Love. And Canyons has the ball in excellent field position.
That's not even close to being a catch.
Close enough as Canyons has the ball. First and 10 from their own 48.
So Canyons comes quickly back out, 6:24 to go. They trail by 5. So they get a turnover here in these last 6 minutes. They go back, running play with the quarterback, tries to turn the corner, gets out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at the 50. As Freeman now in at running back. Gain of 4, second down and 6. Let's say gain of 3, second down and 7.
And what they're going to say is Michael Love did make the catch with 1 foot down, then took that another step to make it a football move. And now you're going to wonder, did he have possession even bringing it in?
Again, quarterback rolls out, goes down, flips it, and that's
a
be
pass.
incomplete.
That's an incomplete pass right there because he did flip it out. And the arm motion went forward. It was not a lateral. And it didn't pop out. Let's hope the young man riding in pain down on the field will be able to get up and walk under his own power. Fourth quarter in a Fullerton Canyons game, you know something's going to happen.
big question was, Corey, not if it was a pass, but if he was down.
I don't think he was down either.
He was in the grasp. If somebody would have leveled him, they would have thrown a flag.
Nobody leveled him, so.
No, yeah. You know, next week you sit next to me and Corey sits over there. Remember, that's Corey Neyland. You know, right now he's wearing a dark blue shirt with some gold piping around the sleeves.
The voice of objectivity.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
We have a final from Cerritos and Allen Hancock. Cerritos with a final 2 minutes of a drive that gives them a 22-17 win over Allen Hancock.
Wow. So Cerritos pulls out 2 exciting back-to-back victories last week against Fullerton, this week against Allen Hancock. And if you're with the coaching staff with Cerritos right now, Corey, you got to feel a little good about your football team and what they may do this year in their conference.
They moved to 3-0, and Amari Williams is the injured Hornet being helped off the field.
If you are a SportsNetUSA.net fan, it means that you are also keeping up with East LA taking on San Diego Mesa, and they are tied at 25 with under 8 minutes to play in that one.
Wow. After San Diego Mesa, big win last week.
3rd down and 6. Hornets bring everybody to the quarterback all by himself on a great stand to deliver pass, and you've got to give it to Shaden Perry, who had everybody all over him, Corey, stood there and threw the ball and got the 1st down.
Yeah, and Littleberry, good catch on a low throw. And Brian Crooks' defense, they came through, they brought the house. It was single coverage, man-to-man coverage all the way. And it was another crossing route that the Cougars have done so well, gets the 1st down.
I don't know about you guys, but it seemed more like he was throwing it to an area rather than actually throwing it to that receiver.
Which is what you do sometimes. You throw it out there and tell your receiver to go get the football. Big 1st down. Perry comes back. Little big grab from behind once again. That's caught right there by Jacoby Taylor. And we've got a flag back here that should be holding.
It will be. Brandon's son got up underneath Sammy Palu.
You sure it's not? You sure it's not like roughing somebody at the end of the play, because that's where they threw the flag the last time.
Yeah, I can't help that I'm right on these calls. Okay, so you know, you don't have to do that. Or actually, that was Eakin again, who got under, or Brandon's son got under Eakin.
So we're under 5 minutes. If you're a Cougar fan, you're looking for that big play, because so far, I'm going to give it to Shaden Perry. He has stood there in the heat and delivered the ball on the money. Perry comes back. 1st down and about 20. He's going to step up, throwing down the middle of the field. One-on-one, intercepted.
And that's Cassius Kearns. And Perry is down.
And you're dancing through down at the 40. The quarterback got hit when he threw the ball. And Corey.
Actually, that was Eakin who's down. I'm sorry. I thought that was Perry.
Perry got hit short, and when he went up, there was part of me that was thinking, please don't go up and have the ball go over your hand.
But again, it was a short pass because the rush from the outside. That's Son again on the outside who comes in for Amari Williams, and he puts the pressure on Perry. So what happens is he comes up short. Kearns, his 1st interception of the season, brings it back 59 yards into Cougar territory with 4:25 to play and a 5-point lead. Hornets need to be smart here and get 6.
So Jordan Smith comes out to the right. Koenig in the slot. Quarterback keeper. Josh Calvin keeps it. Gets a gain of 4 on the play.
And Cameron Woods is saying, Josh, I got the block to the outside. Come to the outside, stretch it a little bit long, stay in bounds, but stretch it to the outside. Ryan Snoke, does a nice job of forcing Calvin to make a decision instead of following the block, and makes the stop.
Tyrell Green at running back.
Now the ends are crashing down hard for the Cougars. That's why that play action is effective. A little look in will be effective as well.
2nd down and 6. Tyrell Green straight up the middle. Called down. Didn't think he was down. Called down. Right at the 34. This could be the play of the game for the Hornets.
Because you're not going to kick a field goal. You're not going to make that. You're not going to make that attempt if you miss, because that's 50-plus yards. So if they don't make it here on the 3rd down, it'll be an interesting dilemma for the Hornet coaching staff.
Here comes the defense for the Cougars. 3rd down and 4. They hand it. Tyrell Green turns short, just short. But Corey, you've got to go for it right here, do you not?
Yeah, I think you go for it, and that deep handoff, and that's a, ooh. That spot is a little bit short.
That is a rough spot. He was about 1.5 yards above where that spot is.
But they're still going to go for it quickly.
So Fullerton was trying to draw the defense off sides, and Coach Iacinda, before he can even allow that to happen, calls the timeout.
So with 2:35 to go, well, we're chippy up here in the broadcast booth.
Hey, it's chippy on the field, chippy on the booth, chippy everywhere. And does your kicker have a 49-yard leg?
No. Does your kicker have a 49-yard leg?
No.
I bet you Corey's kicker's got a 49-yard leg.
So if you make the 1st down here, that goes a long way in salting this game away. Because Canyons, remember, they only have 1 timeout remaining because they have to use their 1st timeout 45 seconds into the second half. So if you can get the 1st down, that will help you salt it away, but you cannot be ultra conservative here on this play call.
And if I'm a linebacker for College of the Canyons right now, I watch the quarterback. Jumbo package in the game. Wasn't there. Gotta get. 1st down, Hornets.
Tyrell Green Jr. stretched the ball out, picked up the 1st down just past the 30-yard line, and Hornets keep possession, and it's all Tyrell Green Jr.
Everything that he does is not unexpected. So when he gets up to the line of scrimmage, he sees that that initial block wasn't there and bounces it to the outside. He reads where the space is, and that's his #1 asset, is that he is able to find where the open spot is.
So the clock will tick.
You remember your tight end, Cameron Woods, Mark?
Yes.
Remember that jumbo package?
Yeah.
You know Calvin's good on the outside in the second half?
Yeah. Down to 16. They're going to run the clock as far as they can. Under 8. Get underneath. Hand it off to Tyrell Green. Gets the corner. Has a block. Stays on his feet. There they down. Another 1st down for the Hornets. Don't be getting a flag.
He landed inbounds, but they're going to stop the clock timeout, Canyons. That's their last timeout taken.
And Corey, I'm going to go back here on that run. You talked about pulling people to set the corner. You have seen this now for those guys on the offensive line. They've been able to get out in front and set the corner. As good as he is as a running back, he's got to have people opening up the hole.
Yeah, Medelis and Silva on that left side do their jobs properly, and another 1st down by Tyrell Green Jr.
So 1:48 to go. Don't go away. Don't leave yet. Anything can happen. The Hornets looking for the positive, up by 5. College of the Canyons looking for a miracle, down by 5, and the time clicking away. Jordan Smith comes out wide to the right. I formation for the Hornets. Josh Calvin underneath center. The clock will start as soon as the ball is hiked. Straight die play up the middle. Gets hit. Bounces back. Should be a gain of 1. So this play, second down, should click off 40. It should be at 1 minute after this play. Tyrell Green in at running back. Shelvin the up back. Now they're going to take a knee for the formation.
And College of the Canyons is going to the center of the field too, so they're not going to pressure anything else. This game is over.
Third down. Don't snap it till it gets down under 30, because then you can let the game run out. Got to wait till it gets under 30 before you snap the ball. And that should do it. So as we come to the end of the game with 25 seconds, well, I'll tell you what, chippiness all over the place. The Hornets come away with a victory. For Corey Neyland, for Ryan Osborn, we'll see you next week at Allen Hancock as your Hornets sneak one out here at College of the Canyons on Sportsnet USA.net.